What's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Podcast. Yeah. It's episode 68. I promised you guys I had some cool interviews coming. Of course, you can probably see I have Awful Wrestling with me here. He's going to review Money in the Bank and NXT Heatwave with me. And we're going to cook Dave Meltzer for being such a dumbass. And I didn't mean to cuss so early.
Nope.
But sometimes it happens. But that's later in the show. To kick off the show, we have OG Rascalz member Myron Reed joining me here for an awesome interview. And we'll get into that in just a minute. But I have to take care of some housekeeping, as they call it. So at Pro Wrestle Times, we surpassed 1,000 subscribers on there. Round of applause for the PWT universe. And we hit 3.7 thousand on the other channel at Pro Wrestle Clips. And I appreciate you so much. We're on the road to 4K there, so hopefully we hit that number as well. Patreon. I have a Kill Tony watch along coming where I watch Ric Flair storm off of Kill Tony. I watched the WrestleMania XL. I'm going to record it. I haven't recorded it yet, but it's coming out soon. I'll drop it right away. I watched the WrestleMania XL documentary. So over on Patreon, you probably see the link at the ticker below, or if you're just listening, patreon.com/prowrestletimes, and you will get to see these things that I'd get DMCA strike for on YouTube. You guys know what I'm saying, right? So I'm going to do watch-alongs there. I'm going to show it on the screen. I got lots of cool stuff planned for all of that and for all that Patreon content. So make sure you check that out. I'm sorry. I'm back from vacation. I missed the last live show. I know everybody's fiending for some fill. Everybody wants to know my reactions. You're going to get them. And I can't wait to do that. Speaking, though, of patrons and tribal chiefs and members, which consider becoming a member below for 99 cents. The link's in the description there. And you get members-only streams whenever I can do them. But I got to shout out the tribal chiefs. Scully Vibes, George Capture, Bocce Ball Pro, Savage Wrestling Podcast, LK, Sass Prophet, Gilgamesh, El Huapo Diablo, Jamie Earhart, Cruz Madrid, Derek Hance. And I probably missed some names, but I just got back from vacation. So next time, you will get shouted out, and next podcast, episode 69, I'll have another TNA knockout on the show. But for today, guys, without further ado, we have the young goat himself, TNA, GCW, MLW. You see this guy, Revolver, all over the world, and he is one of the members of the Rascalz, who are just taking over the wrestling game right now, all over the place. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this interview with Myron Reed. Let's get into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining me now on the show, we have the young goat, Rascalz OG, Myron Reed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So, young goat, Myron Reed, how are you, my friend? How's life? How's things?
Good, man. Working, trying to stay consistent, you know.
Absolutely. So, right off the bat, so I know you got your start in backyard wrestling, as did a lot of us 90s kids, and you're known for taking some amazing bumps and doing some crazy spots, I would say. And like, if you want to call it that, which we'll get into in a bit, but what's the worst, stupidest backyard wrestling bump you ever took?
Man, it's crazy you asked that because like it's still on YouTube to this day. Like I think we were doing like a little ladder match. I think it made like our own little version of the Money in the Bank, and I was climbing the ladder, right? And I'm supposed to jump off of this ladder and do a corkscrew, like cross-bodied everybody. And I go to jump, and the dude that was supposed to be holding the ladder wasn't holding the ladder, so the ladder kicked in. I just said like, I went like 180. It just landed on my back, like outside the ring. Like it was a low boy ring, so probably like 6-12 inches off the ground. Like, but like the ladder was like a 10-foot ladder for sure. I fell off like it was probably like a close to 11-12 feet fall. That was the dumbest shit I've ever done. It was so stupid.
I like to ask my favorite wrestlers who are their favorite wrestlers growing up. So I guess, yeah, just who's your favorite wrestler, like inspired you the most, especially with how innovative you are, you know what I mean?
Coming up, man, I feel like it was people like The Rock, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Kurt Angle. I feel like a lot of those guys as like being younger, that was like my favorite. But like as you grow older and you do this and you understand the craft more, you start to like respect and idolize people even more, because this business is hard. So like but growing up, like, like actually being older and like tapping into the indies, it was like AR Fox, Ricochet, shoot, Leo Rush. When I started wrestling, I was like, damn, he's young getting it. It inspired a lot of younger guys to like work harder and try and do some stuff. But yeah, those are probably like my group of people. But there's a lot of other people that
For sure.
inspired me. But like that's probably the major
Absolutely.
names that come to mind.
Yeah, and you recently wrestled against Leo Rush, I believe, right? In Gringo Loco. Yeah. So I mean, and you listed like a who's who right there, and you've wrestled a who's who, but who's your dream match opponent that's currently active that maybe you haven't touched yet? You know what I mean?
Shoot. I mean, it would be really cool to get in there with someone like RVD or Jeff Hardy. It just for the just the future versus the present type of story behind it would be really, really cool. But like if you're talking about someone like around like maybe a little bit older and that's a little further ahead, maybe someone like Ricochet, like
let's go.
I'd love to wrestle him. Like I've definitely one of the guys I looked up to when I was coming up, like when I first was starting out. Definitely.
Well, hey, he's a free agent now from the WWE, so I mean,
Man,
it could
I'm
happen.
pushing for it, brother.
Yes, me too. We'll make that happen. PWT Universe, get out there and push that. Tag Myron, tag Ricochet. Let's make that happen. I'd love to see it. So, like, speaking of Ricochet yourself, like, you guys are incredibly talented, innovative wrestlers. You've wrestled. I mentioned it before. Who's who? Like Mike Bailey. I just mentioned Leo Rush. I mean, we could run down your resume all day, and you managed to stand out though. You really do. So kudos for that. And one move you do in particular that everyone talks about when they bring up Myron Reed, it's that over the top cutter. And I saw you do that on TNA, and it blew my mind. And then I believe you did it on TNA, right? Or was it? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I did.
Not to get into any, but like MJF did it to Jay White like the same week, I think. That after I saw it. So
it was like the next week.
Yeah. I'm not trying to stir up the shit, but was there any heat there? He didn't pull it off quite as good as you, my friend, but I instantly thought, I just saw Myron Reed do that. And so what were your thoughts when you saw him do that?
At first I was like, dang, like he ain't hit my phone and be like, bro, I'm about to hit you a mover. And like, cause we have that relationship. Like he could have hit my phone and been like, bro, I'm about to hit this cutter real quick.
Yeah.
Tonight. And you know what I'm saying? It'll help you out. Like, that's why I'm really not mad about it, or they really didn't care about it, because like instantly like a million people were tagging my name in it. So like it helped me out more than anything, honestly. Like I'm actually glad he did it, because if he didn't do it, it wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have hit the same. So I'm actually glad he did do it. And we talked about it. So
that's good.
Because I used to hit the move on him. Like, you know what I mean? Like I hit that move on him. Like I think it was like maybe 20, I don't want to say the wrong year, like 2020, 2021, 22. He was living in Indianapolis, and we would just ride up to AAW, the show AAW. Not AEW, but AAW.
Yeah, AAW, yeah.
Yeah, we would ride up to that show, me, him, and Mance, and that was...
I love Mance too, by the way. Shout out
Mance. Yeah, those are good dudes. They're good dudes. But, it's a business, I didn't fucking invent the RKO, so like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is my own like little version of it, but like I didn't invent the move, so like I can't really be super, super mad about it. But it's like, yeah, I do. Don't nobody else do that. You know what I mean? So, the way I do it, I mean. But at the end of the day, it's a move everybody does.
I love MJF, but like I said, man, he don't hit as clean as you. No, I'm not trying to draw the shit.
This is the first question.
So like, how did you come up with that variation on it? Like, did you see someone else do something close to it? And it's no matter who does it, it's forever attributed to you. But how did you like innovate that move, and like, how were you willing to take that bump outside the ring like that?
So at first, like when I first started, I remember in 2016, I seen ACH hit a ramp cutter. Like he would run from the ramp and jump in and cutter the person. And he never did it again after that. I never seen him ever do it again after that. So like the end of 2016, I was like, I'm gonna try that because like the place I was at Rockstar Pro, and they have a ramp where you can run down, and like I was hitting it on everybody then. And then I think it was this one show I was at. I was like, what if I try to do it from in the ring outside? I have people out there like bodies to land on, you know what I mean, like to
Yeah.
protect myself. And it turned out pretty cool. And then just slowly every year, I just like learned how to hit it more and more clean. So like. And then the floor bump is, I mean, I don't know. It's if it's a big match, I feel like it's worth it. I know how to protect myself on it.
Good. Yeah, absolutely, man. It's truly a mind-blowing
Hell
bump
yeah.
to be taken, man. To be fun. You hear guys like Hogan like, oh, I wish I didn't do the leg drop, brother. And then you see guys like you and you're just like, fuck it,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. No, leg
And
drop. No, honestly, it's funny that you said that, bro. Like the leg drop is no joke. Like
mm,
it's your tailbone, bro. Like it's your back, your spine. Like
yeah,
that's the easiest way to mess yourself up. So like with bumps, like if you don't land on your head, like you can take quite a few of those. But like leg drop bumps, those you're limited on those. And that was his finisher, so he hit it every match.
exactly. So that adds up, especially, he's a big heavy guy back in those days.
Oh yeah.
And so, well, I asked you earlier what was the craziest bump you took, like backyard, before you really started bubbling. What's the worst bump you took, craziest bump you think you took, or the most painful one since you've been on, like since you've been up there wrestling in the big times?
Well, when I was first starting, this isn't really in the big times, but like
Yeah.
I was in Jeffersonville, Indiana. This is probably like 2016, like early 2016. I probably was like maybe 6 months into my career. It was a tag match, and we were wrestling. It was me and my friend Mickey. We were wrestling the Chris brothers, and I went for a dive off the balcony, and no one was home. And like I
Oh
tried
man.
to like, and it was probably like 16 feet up. It was pretty high. But I dove off and I like seen like nobody was there. I was like, oh shit, midair. So I grabbed the handle of the thing and I just like rotated like that and landed on the ground.
Oh my
But I like
gosh.
caught myself and landed, but it looked like, yeah. But I landed. I feel like I landed on somebody too that kind of broke my fall a little bit. But yeah, it was very stupid. It was very stupid.
Have you had any like serious injuries or anything like that? Like, I don't want to again, uncover anything you might not want to divulge, but is there anything nagging? Is there anything where you're like, damn,
Nah, bro, I'm blessed. I haven't
Good.
had
Yeah,
anything. Yeah, I'm blessed.
that's
I try
good.
to I try to be smart about, now, as you grow. I mean, of course they're saying your body's sore, more sore, and you don't recover from big bumps and stuff the same as you would when I was like 20, 21, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
a little different now.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you definitely seem to stay spry rather. That's why I ask. So we were talking
Mhm.
about tag teaming, and infamously, you're one of the Rascals, dude, and I love the
Right.
Rascals. I mean, you all you're spread out through like, Bullet Club has done this while over expanding. I'd say there's too many members at times or whatever
Hmm.
different subsections, but the Rascals, I mean, y'all are killing it on the indies and WWE, TNA, all at the same time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I love that.
absolutely.
And so I don't know. Tell me about that. Like, how did you join in with the group? And just, I don't know, your thoughts on the Rascals and what you all are doing right now, all over the place, just killing it.
Well, so honestly, firsthand, I was probably the last guy that they like recruited in like to
Mhm.
the Chris Brother house or whatever. But he had an eye for talent. Like Jake and Dave, or they weren't really like, of course, like they were teaming. So like when they would team against people, or they would, one of them would wrestle the other. Like they would, of course, they would talk about the guys. Like, okay, this guy's good. Like let's try and help him out, type thing.
Mm.
And I remember like pretty much like we all got like at separate times got like recruited pretty much to like come live there and train and wrestle and stuff
Mm.
like that. So like I said, that match that I fell and did the flip like against the Chris brothers was the same match that they were like, yeah, kid, like we want to like help you out, help
Mm.
you get better, like come train, come live the life, like live the wrestler dojo.
Yeah.
And I was all for it, man. I was all in. So same thing with everybody, but they had like separate occasions for everybody. I can't really tell you years because they all came before me. So like Zach was
Yeah.
probably 2015, or you know what I mean,
Yep.
2016 maybe Trey, or 2015 too. I don't know, but like it was just at different times. But when we all came together, we were all there together,
Yeah.
and we're training together. working together, grinding together. I mean, Ace Austin was there, Cole Radrick
Mm.
at one point was there. Like it was cool. It was cool. It was a cool thing, and it's honestly cool to see everybody glow up now. But like all of that stuff, like we just grew and built a bond. Like
Mm-hmm.
and uh, you know, we were, I mean, it's just the whole brotherly experience where, you guys are cool, like beef with your brothers, you cool as
Yeah.
hell with your brothers, you fight with your brothers, like
Yep.
y'all, you know what I mean? It's just, it was a real experience like that. But we had to be like family though, like,
Mm-hmm.
because we were living together and training together. We were together all the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that really built that bond. And we just like, we always had chemistry.
Yeah, all
Like,
between all of you
yeah,
guys, there's this great whatever pairing, whatever trio. Just seeing everyone now, like Wes Lee just had a tremendous match there at or Dez at what was it called? Sorry, Heatwave.
yeah, he killed it, bro. He killed it for sure.
Yeah, so I mean that was tremendous, and you're doing your damn thing.
Yeah.
And then over in TNA as well. So I know you guys had like your reunion on TNA there not
Yeah.
long ago, right? So
Yeah, it was last year. It was like October last year, but we've been back together maybe once or twice since then.
yeah, so and
Once.
I was going to ask you, like, and feel free to divulge as much as you want, but what's your status like with TNA? And could you see yourself making like a full on run there at any point, like in the future,
Um,
maybe with the Rascalz?
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, maybe of course maybe with the bros.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely down. But right now, I'm just building, man. Like I'm not signing anything. I'm just trying to
Mm-hmm.
like really like grow and figure out what I want to do, who I am, like completely, like 100%. And just build that brand, so I have some kind of leverage when the time comes. Like I don't want to just be given the lowest offer, you know what I'm saying, because I haven't built no brand or built anything for myself. So that's what I'm doing right now.
And I absolutely love that because where you're at, you're how old are you? Like 28? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I just turned
The world,
28.
the world is your oyster, dude. You got all the time ahead of you, and it's like there's guys, let's say, leaving WWE now who are just getting these reps in that you're already doing right now.
Yeah,
WWE is there with NXT, right? I'm sure you see they're trying to expand. They're sending guys out around the world, like. You're already doing the thing that they are now like investing in their talent to get into and stuff like that. So
100%.
I just
It
think like
matters.
you're
It matters. I see
mhm,
why they're doing it. It definitely matters. It changes you as a wrestler. Like
yeah.
when you've had that experience, the confidence is just different when you're out there. Like you know that if anything fails, I got this. Like it's not. I know how to listen. I know how to do what I do. Like I'm a professional. It's not like shoot. I'm nervous if something goes wrong. What do I do anymore? You know what I mean? So like
Hmm.
I think they want to get guys just comfortable and have
Hmm.
them have more experience. It helps. You just become a better wrestler when you're doing what you do more.
Right. Well, and that's an extra card to play in your deck, though. I truly believe that you
Facts.
like what you're doing now is only going to pay off tremendously down the line. So, like with TNA, is that a place though that you could like? They're getting kind of hot now too. Do you think like down the line, maybe sure the door's open, or are you eyeing up are you eyeing up maybe a WWE or an AEW down the line too? Or are you just like that's not even my focus right now? I'm just doing my thing, and when that time comes, it comes.
I feel like I'm eyeing everything. Like,
Hmm.
whatever comes to me, I'm ready. But I'm not like pressuring it or like, forcing myself to like think about that. I'm just worried
Hmm.
about the Myron Reed, the Young Goat brand. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Just
Yeah.
like making it something undeniable.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the EXP points you're building up are just it's just yeah, again, going to pay off down the line tremendously. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you like do you have any matches or anything coming up in the future that anyone should be aware of like while you're building this brand up, while you're spreading the young goats around the world? Is there any matches, anything you got coming up that people should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, man. Like, even though I'm not like signed to a contract, I stay really busy. Like, I'm
Hmm.
wrestling almost every weekend, and it's not just all little hole in the wall shows. These are big shows. Some of them are
Yeah,
big shows. Like, I would consider Revolver a big show. Like,
it is.
you know what I mean? It's a big draw, a big fan base.
Yeah.
AAW. There's a lot of places that you can consider bigger. Like, bigger promotions that I would work, but it's not just, hole in the wall places. July 13th this Saturday, I'm in Hamilton, Indiana, or Ohio, sorry, Hamilton, Ohio for Tri-State. And it's like, I believe it's a ladder match with multiple people in it. So some crazy shit's going to probably pop
Oh
off.
yeah.
And then I believe next Thursday, I'm in my hometown. It's me and Mance Warner for the GCW World Title. So, but I add some gold to the plate.
Yes.
Put some more food on that plate. And then Friday in St. Louis, it's myself versus formerly known as Scripps from the WWE NXT.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
That's going to be amazing.
Two of the best high flyers in the game finna step in and do the thing.
Without question.
Yeah.
And so GCW, man, I feel like they're kind of popping right now too. And have you worked closely with Matt Cardona at all? What's he like to be around? He's the GM now.
I've been around him. He's a character, man, but he's a good dude too, but he's a character for sure.
Yeah.
I still sneak and smoke my stuff though at the show.
No doubt.
Banned it, I had to sneak off, but I ain't even supposed to be incriminating myself right now.
Yeah. Hey man, I won't tell nobody. We enjoy it over here too as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like how GCW he brings like I'm gonna do the whole WWE thing kind of. I don't know. I just love that. I think GCW is bubbling as well and great wrestling. And of course, you spent time in some time in MLW, no? Middleweight world champ. So MLW as well. I think they got it going on. Like I say it on my podcast all the time. I love just throwing it on YouTube. They make it easy to watch, and they got good stuff going on. Tell me about your time, like as middleweight champ there, and are you planning on checking out MLW again? Like again, I keep asking like places you've been at, and I know you're focused on the future, but hey, man, MLW's bubbling a little bit too. Like, do you plan on ever showing up there again? Possibly, just if there's a big match. Riddle's over there. That'd be a cool match.
Yeah. I actually I talk to Court still. I honestly feel like, at this point I'm not signed to no contract. So
okay. So
honestly, man, whoever hits me up, I'm down to do business. It could be NWA, New Japan, WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, AEW, doesn't matter. I'm down to do business for sure. I'm down to wrestle. But and it all helps build the brand. It all helps build your name. So I'm up for it.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I could ask you, like, you wrestled like Tajiri. Like, what's that like? He's
awesome,
a legend.
Yeah, he is a freaking legend. That's where I got the pants idea from when I it was really cool. It was really cool it was a really cool thing to do. And it wasn't just once. I got to work with them multiple times. I think it was like 2 or 3 times. So the first match was of course the first time I'm a little nervous about it, but the second time was easier. The first time you filling people out, so it's okay. I just want to make sure that I get the respect of the legend, and I feel like I did that. So the second time was way more comforting, easier to call, easier mentally.
So that's a legend you wrestled, and there's a young guy you've wrestled, I believe. You also thrown down with like Nick Wayne. And so like AEW's putting a lot of stock behind him, it appears, sticking him with Christian and all that. What are your thoughts on Nick Wayne and like throwing down with him? Do you see it like the way a lot of people are hyping him up?
Yeah, for sure. I haven't got the chance to wrestle him, but we've teamed together.
Okay.
And from a teammate and a teaming perspective, I think that he's great. I feel like he gets it, and he gets it at this age. You know what I mean? So just imagine where he'll be in 5 or 10 years, how good he'll be. So I believe in it. People don't want to just find people that are already made. Sometimes people want to build people from, if they see the potential in them. And I definitely see the potential. I see why people are hyping him up. I mean, the hype is well deserved. He works hard, good.
Yeah, I get it too. I was actually there at Dynamite for his first AEW match or whatever. I was there live, and the kid, I don't know, he's got whatever it is, man, and it's something. It's something you got going on too, man. There's something special happening in wrestling right now, where there's a lot of younger folk. they're taking the right path to where I think wrestling is just, and especially with WWE sort of opening their doors, and you see the way AEW expand and everything like that, I think the future's really bright, especially for people who choose the path you have. I think it's really important to get out there and wrestle for all these different promotions and get in there and mix it up again. Like, you've wrestled Lio Rush a bunch of times. That to me on paper is like, I mean, come on, man. You two guys.
Insane every time. Insane.
Yeah. And just recently, though, actually. So I think I brought it up earlier. You and Lio Rush and I think Gringo Loco just had a triple threat in Revolver. No, was that?
Yeah, it was literally like a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
There you go, man. So that was just spectacular. Guys, go and check that out if you haven't checked it out. And I guess, Myron, I thank you so much for your time hanging out with me. Is there any social media you want to plug? You plugged some matches, anything the listeners should be aware of as we close out this interview here?
Yeah, so I have merch coming soon, some really cool shirts, black and green. Just, check me out on social media, Twitter, The Bad Reed, and Myron Reed on Facebook and stuff like that. Reed's World, IG. But, I dropped the shirts and everything like that on there. And, other than that, it's just music and wrestling, man. Like, I got music coming out and I got, wrestling coming up. So
tell us about the music you got coming out. Big music fans.
Yeah.
I got a 2-time Grammy Award winner. He's a regular co-host on my show. He's one of my good friends. So we love music here at the PWT Universe. Tell us about your music and where people can find it and what you got coming.
Man, I've been making music for a little while. I just, me and Leo, matter of fact, just came out with a song. We got a video to it. You can go check that out. It's on all platforms. It's a banger. It's probably one of my favorite songs I've done so far. But other than that, man, I think this year, as far as music, I'm just trying to collab with a lot of people that do what I do, like wrestle and make music. I feel like it's a really cool thing because they've always worked, they've always tied together, wrestling and music have always went together. So I still feel like it's a cool thing to make music and wrestle.
I do too.
Blend them together. So I'm just trying to make that pop off even more too. I think it's a cool thing.
Okay, so we're manifesting Myron Reed versus Ricochet, and we're manifesting Myron Reed featuring John Cena down the line. That's coming, guys.
That'd be so tough.
Guys, make sure you go follow Myron Reed. Make sure you follow everything he's got going on. Thank you so much for being here, taking the time to do this. Appreciate it so much. The young goat, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Myron Reed.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
And hey, man, open door here. Anytime you want to just come plug something or anything, you hit me up and whatever you got going on, man. Open door here. I appreciate you so much.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
You too. God bless. Wow, guys. Okay, let's give one more round of applause here for Myron Reed. Phenomenal. And joining me here, of course, Awful Wrestling, AEW Full Wrestling, to review some WWE from Toronto. But Awful, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Peace to the chat. Peace to everybody. What's going on, Phyllis?
Oh, man, just hey, that's Phil S to you, dog. I'm doing good. I just interviewed Myron Reed, which we just played for the good PWT Universe.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. I hope you get a kick out of listening to that, and big and bright things in that guy's future, man. I just absolutely think he's a phenomenal young talent, and he's got the world ahead of him. And as he stated in the interview, he's not eyeing up any company. He's waiting until they're eyeing him up, and the stuff that WWE's investing in, trying to get their indie talent, their NXT talent out, in indies and Japan and shit. He's already doing all that, and he's 28. Yeah. Future's so bright, and just his approach is I don't know, and he's not worried about AEW or none of that. He's just worried on the young goat brand and putting on great matches and just building up his name. And like we talked about, MJF stole his move in that pay-per-view against Jay White, so he's obviously, people are watching, you know what I mean? So yeah, shout out Myron Reed. But Awful, how are you doing, man? Did you partook in this weekend in Toronto with WWE, Money in the Bank, Heatwave? You watched everything. Your feelings coming out of the weekend, man? Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the Canadian crowd?
Oh yeah. I have a few observations. The first one that I thought was well, we'll get into it, but Heatwave was fantastic.
Fantastic.
Money in the Bank had its moments, but Heatwave from top to bottom was fantastic. Save for a couple of things in Heatwave that a lot of people online are talking about, as we speak. But yeah, we'll get into it.
Absolutely. So we'll head to Doc Chris Mueller at Bleacher Report here. As we do, we like to use Bleacher Report. And Doc Chris Mueller, he's a little stiffer than Eric Beeston, if you will. He judges critiques a little more harshly. But let's get into the damn thing. We had only 5 matches on the card. Bravo. Awful. Are you a fan of 15 matches on a card? Or do you like 5 that are built up properly, or Tony Khan style of 15 where he throws one on at the last minute?
Yeah, I really do love the 9-hour marathon matches that happen in AEW. No, 5 is actually 5 to me is a little too low. Maybe 6 or 7. But yeah, 15 way too much. Tony should already know this shit.
So we had Trish Stratus hosting the event, but what did she really host? Like, she came out and introduced John Cena, which we'll get into in a bit, but what did she really host? Like, I guess just have her there for PR and all of that? Like, what was that about?
Talk about a bore. Like, she had nothing to do. In fact, I wrote that in my notes, like, Trish Stratus is completely useless tonight. Like, what is she doing there? She didn't seem enthused at all. If you pay attention, it looked like, she always looks great. She's always looked like a snack. But other than that, boy,
you like white women? They're awful.
What? Yes, I like white women to show me where the black women are.
Oh shit!
Hey, come on now. My wife is in the vicinity.
Okay. Sorry, Mrs. Awful. We're not.
I love it. But gentle. She's a good-looking woman. She just had nothing to offer at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, no doubt. I felt the same way. So, just the matches quickly. We had the women's Money in the Bank. We had the men's Money in the Bank. We had an IC title match, a World Heavyweight title match. Then the 3 versus 3. So the pre-show goes down. It was what it was. I love the way that I tweeted this out, that they run through the stats. Like, this is what I thought AEW would be, is when they do the Money in the Bank / like the Royal Rumble / Elimination Chamber before all these events. Now WWE, they run like these stat packages where everything's about the numbers. And we've had 5 people win and 100% of these cash-ins, or the Royal Rumble, this guy threw over 12 people and this guy lasted the most minutes. That is most people won from number 27. That's what I thought we were getting with AEW off the rip, like statistic-based sports feel. WWE's far more superior in sports-based than AEW in that aspect, I think, all the time, like hand over fist. So this was great. I just love them running over the stats and just like reminding you of the history and all of that stuff. I think that's phenomenal. So, and then the kickoff panels are always good, right? You have Wade Barrett, you have Jackie, and you have Big E, who they all play off each other really, really well. I love that panel. I don't know if you caught any notes on the pre-show or.
The only thing I caught was everybody getting hype about Big E's hint to AJ Lee coming back to the show by reciting her lyrics. So yeah, I mean, that was the only thing that I got out of the pre-show that anybody was talking about.
Yeah, I like that they lean in to that and sort of troll us marks with that. I do enjoy that.
I don't know how you guys fall for it. I swear to God.
Yeah, well, I never said she was coming back. I don't anticipate that at all. Just personally, if I may, like sort of what Punk was saying, yeah, AJ Lee's out there working, dog. Yeah, like just as a writer, I'll tell you guys that a little bit. She's out there working. Trust me, she's got so much shit on the go, like that I've heard about, where it's like I don't even think wrestling. Like, she might come be in the crowd for a Punk match or something, maybe. But
is she too late? Is she too late to come back to that big gigantic pop? Will people still remember her?
Yeah, they will, because she was the woman who, if she was in this era, like she was built for this era. If it wasn't for her in the Divas era doing what she did, we don't fully get to even this era. Not saying Charlotte and them wouldn't come along, but she really helped progress that. And people forget too, she dropped that pipe bomb of her own. back in the day on Natty and
the Bella twins tried to step on it the whole time.
Well, because she was shooting, bro. They didn't, and you could see Natty was really offended. Like Natty completely fell out of the promo. You know what I mean? Like she you could tell, man. And that was a genius pipe bomb as well. I don't have it anywhere. I'd play it, but no, I think she just resonated too much with people like Uber marks like myself, you know, who knew like women's wrestling is actually something, will be something. And you see that with NXT Heatwave, which we're about to talk about. But we had the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So the entrants were as follows here. We have Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. So I didn't get to give picks. I was on vacay. But I thought Drew would win it. Absolutely. But I did say between me, like, who do I want to win it? It's got to be LA Knight or Jey Uso for me to, I don't know, just the WWE thing would be put it on one of them and sell toys or whatever. Drew McIntyre is the guy who I picked. Like, I kind of saw this coming. Like, he's going to win it. He's going to cash it in, and then Punk's going to fuck him. Or, like, he's going to be about to win it, then Punk's going to come and tip the ladder over through a table or something, and then it's going to, you know, like, something's going to happen with Punk. It's Toronto. It's a huge international show, quote unquote. As well, WWE says Toronto's part of our international expansion. You had to know Punk was going to be there, right? He's done a ton of shows. He's cleared to wrestle from everything I understand. Like, as of now, he could wrestle right now, but they're just not rushing it. What's the point, you know? Right. And so, yeah. Anyways, we're jumping the gun here, but basically, this match was pretty goddamn good. I mean, to kick off the card, I thought, like, wow, this is really good. The women are really going to steal the show. Now, I don't think so as much, but without getting too far ahead of myself, Drew McIntyre snatches the briefcase, and then later on in the night, he cashes it in, which we'll talk about. But just your thoughts on this match and Drew winning the case. Is he the right guy? Now, is he the right guy? Oh, but later on in the night, this is what happens. Was he the right guy in that moment, like looking at the future of WWE, like, okay, yeah, this guy could have the case for a while, build it around him?
If what happened at the end didn't happen, it would have worked. It still would have worked. And you forgot the way in which Drew McIntyre won the ladder match. I mean, he threw one of the ladders like a javelin straight to Jey Uso's chest and sending him sailing, and then Drew got up and got the briefcase. I thought that was an excellent finish. I was like, oh, this is going to be a great show, but things took a turn.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, great ending, a great opener. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. But I'm not sitting there going, this is the best Money in the Bank ladder match of all time. You know, I'm not thinking that, but there were some awesome spots. And yeah, the finish, I thought it was good. I thought that and
Drew, very quickly, I did write in my notes, everybody is struggling to win. Like, there is no showboating in this in the ladder match. It was just like, you know, hurt your opponent, try to climb the ladder. And that's the thing that's missing in AEW. Everybody's trying to showboat, to play to the crowd, to do everything in their power but to win a match. But I digress. We can move on.
Exactly. So Andrade's reverse Spanish fly on Hayes was amazing. That's right. That was a great spot. And then, yeah, the sunset flip from Andrade. You had to know that was coming. That's just right. And he does that, I think, every time there's a ladder near him. But anyways, yeah, so that was okay. And then we had Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Now, oh man, I thought this would have been like they're giving it to Breaker. No, they give him a loss against Sammy. Now, I just don't think they needed to do this, man. Like, they could have had. Now, here's the thing: like, Zayn played the underdog, which was really like it works for him. That's what he does best. That's why I don't think he'll ever be world champion. You know what I mean? Because it works best from him fighting underneath. Like, in this instance, even as the IC champ, he's fighting from beneath Braun Breaker, seemingly. Right. But goddamn, was this Breaker's first big PLE on the main roster? Like, I feel like they could have given him, like, even a Braun Strowman or something, a Jonah, one of the, Bronson Reed. One of these guys, like, give him a big kaiju to beat, where like he's the underdog somehow, where you position like before he gets to that, or like he's the, like, maybe they'll give him that, oh, that's in the future when he's a babyface, but I don't know, man. I would have liked to see him destroy more people so that it really put the pressure on Sammy, because Sammy just took out Gunther. So, and it's like if you were to say, oh, it's going to be Breaker versus Gunther, I'm still picking Gunther personally, like if we're talking a shoot contest here. So all I'm saying, Zayn was super over there in Canada. Oh, Canada, bud. And this is a really, really, really good match. But still, I feel indifferent about Sammy winning it, even though like I don't want to see him just drop the belt right away. I just feel like this match could have been put off until like maybe even SummerSlam or later than that. Your thoughts?
First note I have on here, Braun Breaker has the boo-boo face, the boo-boo job face, and he had it, walking down to the ring. That's a rookie mistake. See, again, I'm not the fucking know-it-all of wrestling, but you can tell when somebody's gonna be losing.
Yeah, boo-boo face, man. Charlotte Flair face. She has it. Jade had it recently. You see it.
The match went, I don't know how long the match went, but it went over 3 minutes. This was your opportunity to really make somebody in Braun Breaker by using Sami Zayn, who had just beat Gunther, as you said, to catapult this guy into superstardom, a la Brock Lesnar in 2002 SummerSlam. But you made the mistake of having it go too long. It almost exposed a little bit of Braun Breaker's, issues, especially with a veteran like Sami Zayn. He looked great out there. Don't get me wrong, but it's the little things. It's the beats between the notes, like his boo-boo face. Also, he telegraphed his loss by doing push-ups. I know that sounds silly, but people go back and watch.
What do you mean?
Like, so when you showboat like that, it gives the impression like, oh, you've got this match in the bag, and it immediately telegraphs that you're going to lose this match because you're showboating to a degree. Like you're getting yourself over, and it works. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do, but I think Braun Breaker should have been a terrorizer instead of a showboater during that match with Sami Zayn. And I do not agree with the ending. I think Braun Breaker, like I said, should have won the match in like under 5 minutes. And I think everybody agrees with me on that one.
Just as a side note, I brought up Gunther. Let me hit the X-Files. If I was Fantasy Mark booking it, dude, I would have Gunther. Like, I don't know how long he's got in his career, but I would have him be like the new WrestleMania undefeated guy. Do you know what I mean? But
not a bad idea.
Yeah, but that's already sullied a little bit. So yeah.
Not a bad idea at all.
Yeah. Like hopefully they could, like I don't know if he's got 25 of them in him or whatever, like the Undertaker, but that would be the guy who I would have never lose at Mania. Isn't he like 2-0 at Mania or something like that? But yeah. Anyways,
don't ask me for stats.
Yeah, exactly. Who are you, Brandon Thurston? Fact checking fucking decibel levels. So Brandon Thurston, fact check the decibel levels during this next segment, which maybe we can delve into a Phil Marks bookmarks quickly for that. But John Cena makes his epic return to WWE, and he comes out and he says, and the place just fucking erupts. And Trish comes out and introduces him. Place absolutely erupts. So much so that Brandon Thurston said, hey, I'm going to fact check the decibel meters at Money in the Bank because for what reason? I don't know why, because WWE said that they're going to start doing decibels or whatever. So Brandon Thurston decides to do this. You quote tweeted it and said Brandon Thurston's IQ level awful. Your thoughts on Thurston and his machine, and Pollock saying, I just witnessed Brandon Thurston fact check the decibel meter for John Cena's entrance.
I got a question very quickly though. Was this before or after the Vince McMahon question press conference?
Yeah, so this was before, obviously, because this was during John Cena's entrance.
No, but I'm talking about when they posted it, because it seemed like, if I remember, they posted it after he was getting backlash from the Vince McMahon question.
Well, how do you feel about I don't know if he posted this before or after. I was on vacation.
Yeah, he's an idiot. You know, long story short, he's an idiot for doing such a dumb thing. Like there was no purpose in doing that except to challenge what the official meter that WWE had up on their screen was. And we already know that wrestling is a work, so why even bother?
Yeah, you couldn't even set up one of these for AEW unless it was like a pay-per-view or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like and even then, like their pay-per-view drew like their last one of the biggest of the year, allegedly, drew like 10,000 less people than this show did for one night. Like they sold like almost 50,000 tickets over the weekend if you include SmackDown and Heatwave. But anyways, though, yeah, I don't know why he did this, and then you just cooked him with the IQ thing. Look, man, I don't really hate on Thurston or Pollock as much as other people, but so let's just jump ahead a little bit because we're not going to cover the press conference. There was nothing really of note. Cena just got asked a billion questions, which we're going to get into his retirement and break that all down here. But as far as like the Brandon Thurston asks Triple H about the he's like, you know, there's WWE are cooperating with the investigation in Vince McMahon scandal. Like, can you tell us about that sort of thing? And it's just such a dumb question because it's like, well, you just said it. They're cooperating fully. So they fully intend on, they're confident that they're going to work alongside whoever they need to reveal what they need to. And they just want to put an end to this. And they're confident that nobody else did any dirty, weird shit with Vince McMahon. And so Thurston wants him to what? Like, oh yeah, you know, Vince, he's a piece of shit. Like, what are they expecting? Now, I don't care that he asked the question. I don't get triggered like everyone else. Oh, what you asked that? Can't believe, Cena came back and he's asking this.
Right.
It's like, well, yeah, dude, there's real world shit, like pooping on people. If that happened, that's real life shit. If there's abuse or anything like that, I don't know. That's real life stuff. Okay. The John Cena coming back for kayfabe one last run. Yeah, that's great. But like, this just shows you the level of man children there are in the IWC. Truly, and if people take, I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to lump everyone together because I do actually understand. I'm not trying to fence right either. When Thurston asked it, I just was like, what a fucking geek, you know? Like, I can't believe why even ask that, and just a redundant question. And also when Cena was getting interviewed, man, I feel like they were asking him just the most redundant. Like, ask him how the schedule is going to work. What the fuck, you guys? He's telling you he's going to be back from here till here. Ask him how the schedule is going to work, you fucking people. Like,
who would you like to work with?
Dude, it's crazy. It's like, well, ask him, like, is he going to be on Raw or SmackDown? Like, ask him what the fuck. Jesus, you know, like, they're not. I'm just sitting there the whole time, like, when is someone going to ask him the schedule? And it was almost like John Cena was trying to be like, ask me about the schedule. He's like, well, you know, Mania won't be my last one, so there's that too.
Right.
And then it's like, he's there through 2025, like the whole year, like the year itself, not the WWE year, but like he's ending his career again in January or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, of like 2025, that's his last month, December 2025. He's done. So it's like, ask him about the schedule. Are you going to be on Raw? Are you going to be on SmackDown? Are you just going to pop up when you want and just take on?
Are you going to be on USA's last Raw?
Yeah, well, he said, I'm going to be on the first ever Netflix show. And it's like, ask him about that. Like, dude, you're going to be on the first Netflix show. What do you anticipate? They're not asking, who do you think you're going to face? What do you, you know, this was amazing. What message would you like to give to the people? It's like, bro, he's going to tell you all that in his promos. He's going to tell you all that on Twitter. Yeah. Fucking, and in all the interviews when he does every stupid, dumb mainstream talk show, they're going to say, what message would you like? You guys are right there. Ask him about the fucking schedule. Ask him about, oh, really? Are you going to be on Raw? Are you going to be a floater? Are you going to be, are you just going to show up at the big pay-per-views? He said 40 dates.
Get canceled?
Hey, he said 40 dates awful. Hey, does that mean house shows? Like, you know what I mean? Ask them some fucking questions. These people, man, they drive me nuts. So sorry, but to bring it back to Thurston, I want your thoughts on just the terrible media questions to John Cena and Thurston's dumb fucking question to Triple H about the Vince stuff, which is like, he's obviously not going to say anything. Your thoughts on it, Awful?
I think he was trying to go through his little Bernstein and Woodward phase. For you youngsters out there, those were the two reporters that outed Nixon for his crimes. But yeah, that's what Brandon Thurston is trying to go for. The grift is real. And him asking John, didn't he ask John Cena the same question about Vince McMahon?
I don't know, but then a bunch of people were posting shit recently though about, like, I saw under a bunch of posts and the people talking about the Thurston thing. There's all these people like Cultaholic and all these bots, man, NPCs. They're posting like, look, John Cena went out to dinner with Vince. Like they're posting all this shit, like they're still friends. They're calling da 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 da. So I think you were right, dude. That was like they just drummed up those fucking weirdos and they knew it. You know, he knew that was gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, he Brandon Thurston is what can I say? A grifter. I can't call him a fraud. He does math real well.
So what's his grift? What's his grift then?
Trying to have people pay for his data that is readily available anywhere else. You know, just because you put in just a little bit of footwork more than anybody else doesn't give you the right to charge whatever you're trying to charge, or to try to tell people like, don't post my stuff. Like, give me a break with that.
Yeah, you're still yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, back to the Money in the Bank. So, and then just last question. The flimsy reporting, like with John Cena, right? I mean, how bad was that? Come on, like, ask him a real question.
Yeah,
your thoughts on it?
Immediately, Phil, I had like 6 questions for John Cena. Just thinking about it, like, does this mean that Peacemaker is canceled?
Yeah.
You know, are you working in Hollywood in the next year? Will you be doing double duty? Make it, something that he's not going to really hear at a WWE press conference, but also keep it on point, because he did make the announcement like, listen, it's going to be any and all questions regarding my retirement. Right. Anything else you want to talk about? Like, oh, man. They don't listen.
And they're asking him about fucking, man, I wish I remembered some of them. They're asking about like who he wrestled or like whatever the fuck before. I'm like, dude, ask about this retirement tour. Like, God. And I saw you tweeted out, this retirement tour is going to be everything that stings what should have been with Ada. And you're so right about even the fact he came out with the new t-shirt with like the last time is now, the slogan, the all of that stuff. I mean, this is going to be huge business for WWE going forward. We're sitting here like, dude, in 2025, we get The Rock back. We got Cena's final tour. Like, WWE is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right. It could be Cena in Austin at a certain point.
Oh my God, that would be crazy.
They could work smoke and mirrors around that and still make it happen.
Yeah, man. And the 17th title isn't off the table. And that's the other thing, too. They just asked him, like, oh, do you think you'll go for the 17th world title and break? Man, he's been asked that for the last 4 or 5 fucking years. He's been asked that same question. Nah, don't do that. Guys, I was interviewing fucking Myron Reed earlier in this episode, and I asked him what his worst backyard wrestling bump was, because he started backyard wrestling, and he just started laughing. He's like, bro, that's so funny you asked me about that. I was just thinking of the other day. This is what I'm telling you guys, man. Ask them shit that is, I don't know, dude. I'm not.
That's interesting. That engages them. That puts them in a mindset to converse with you. That's all.
Yeah, man. It's just hard to Jesus. Do. And Cena wanted it. You could tell he was just begging for it the whole time. He's like, one more question.
Oh yeah. Who's got a good one?
Yeah, and he's like, the Chamber, there's the Rumble. So it's like, okay, you're going to do all these big international events, clearly. Are you going to do like are you going to be on Raw? Like, can we expect you to be in a storyline? Like, are you going to be in an angle, or are you just going to show up like the couple, like the go home show, before the pay-per-view, and then showed up at the pay-per-view? Like, what are you talking full? You're fully in for the next year? 40 dates. That's a lot. There's 52 weeks in a year. So goddamn, you're going to be...
What amount of money would you take to go heel?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
man.
What would it take?
They asked him that too, and again, he's been asked that for fucking a decade. Okay. I feel like, but just are you going heel? Are you going heel? No, the way you phrased it is better. How much money, John? Because that's really what it's at the end of the day. But John's like, I don't think it would fit my brand, but it's also like, why ask him that? Yeah, John Cena's going, yeah, let me just tell them that I'm going to do a heel turn 30 weeks into or whatever, right before Mania, I'm going to heel turn and join The Rock. Like, why would he even tell you that? Don't even ask that question. It's such a dumb fucking question. Oh, hey, what's Triple H's booking in 3 months? Can you tell me? You fucking idiot, man. God.
Can I come into the writer's room with you?
Yeah, it's like, come on. Sorry, we harped on this so long, but God bless Cena. I'm so happy he's back. and I love it. I just love this last run is going to be so good. And even if he does win the belt, well, we know he's going to drop it later because he's whatever. You know, they could even give him this Damian Priest belt, Seth Rollins. So speaking of which, we have the World Heavyweight Championship match. Man, this match was banging and bussing and buzzing, and Rollins was so over, and fucking Priest, I thought, was just really... God damn, he just came into his own in this match. It was phenomenal. And then the goddamn ending got botched. Priest didn't kick out of the Falcon Arrow. The ref got up and didn't count the 3. And you could see Priest telling everyone, my bad. It's my bad, bro. You can I watched it back like 18 times. And you can clearly see Priest tell Rollins, fuck my bad, bro.
Right.
You can clearly see him see that. And it's like, what else are you going to say? Rollins,
if this was
pointed, yeah, go ahead.
If this was like 20 years ago, Rollins would have politicked for Priest to be fired. I mean, it's those kind of mistakes that back in the day would have cost you your job. Would have
fucked you, yeah. But Triple H, he even said it in the press conference. He's like, yeah, when I was a talent, if that had happened, that's all I would have thought about. He's like, and people are going to be harsh to him online. He's like, but I really like, you know, it's just one little thing and we're humans, human error. And that's good of Triple H. But let's be real, Triple H and Orton and them, if someone did that to them, he'd have fucking Scott Steiner didn't kick out, fire his ass. But it's just, I don't know, people grow and change. It's hilarious. And to what you just said there, yeah, the politicking's much different. But yeah, they fucked that ending up. I still popped though, because Drew came out, it saved it. But that whole thing, man, like, what do you do in that situation? Like, you shoot, count the 3, change the title, and then just do it or like, do you think Damian thought
because you know what, everybody would have that Shawn Michaels Bret Hart look on their face, like, what the hell is going on? Like, and you don't want that, because that's a flat finish. You do exactly what they did and continue on.
So did Drew, do you think like Damian thought Drew's music was supposed to hit, or do you think Damian really fucked up and didn't kick because it's the Falcon Arrow spot? Like, everyone kicks out of that. You know what I mean?
That I'm not sure, but that's a good observation.
Yeah. Because like Drew's music hit right after. So I feel like there's supposed to be like suplex, Falcon Arrow, like 1 music hits, 2. Oh shit, what the fuck? Or like Damian.
There's so much communication between. There's so much communication between the ref and the back. I mean, I don't see how that could have happened.
Well, you saw right away too, like Priest was talking to the ref, like just they were having a full-blown conversation when Drew's music hit. Like, you could see it for a few seconds there. So I don't know, man. I'm not gonna like bury this match because the finish, but that finish got fucked up horribly. But then Drew like saved it. I thought Priest too just really was standing out in this match. Like, dude, he's him. He's really a world champion level guy. I'm seeing it against Seth, and it was just nice to see Seth. Like, Seth's one of these guys, you don't appreciate him till he's gone, and then he comes back, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy just has fucking awesome matches with everyone, and he knows how to tell a story. You know, he sells his ass off. A lot of people say Seth no sells, which he does kind of, like his knees and shit, you know, like he'll like slap his leg, then do a springboard or whatever. So I get it, but like I value him, especially in today's day and age. Like, it's less egregious than other wrestling, but this match is so good. The ending, I was like, no. Drew comes out. It's a triple threat. He tries to he's hitting claymores. They're they're trying to recover, and then Punk comes out of nowhere, beats the shit out of Drew, fucks, and then Damian hits the choke slam, pins Seth 1, 2, 3. I think, or he pinned Drew actually after Punk beat him down with a chair and all this stuff. I think I don't know. Drew can afford the loss. Like, his story with Punk is so much bigger than the belt.
Yeah, it transcends this belt.
Yeah, people are going, oh, is it going to be Seth versus Punk versus Drew world heavyweight I mean, not world heavyweight, but just a 3-way at SummerSlam? I don't think so. You just do Drew and Punk 1-on-1. You don't need Seth in there. If anything, we'll get.
Now we're going to Tony Khan levels of booking on that one. Like, don't insert a third guy in there. This was always them two, so let it be them two.
Right, and then you have Punk and Seth down the line. Like, that's another one that doesn't need the belt, that can happen this WrestleMania, like it was supposed to, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So, and then Priest, people are saying, oh, he's going to face Gunther, obviously, and no, I don't think so. I don't think it's Gunther's Coronation time at SummerSlam. Maybe it is, and I'm wrong, but I don't think. Or maybe,
I think you are wrong because I
actually
think
now
Gunther,
that I'm thinking about it, because they teased Finn at the pay-per-view too. So there was a backstage segment where Damian Priest was like, "Yo, I'm going out there alone. I don't need nobody, no help."
right.
And then Finn was like, "Whatever you say, boss." So actually, I think I might be wrong too, and Finn fucks Damian at SummerSlam. Gunther gets the win. And then Damian and Finn do a program.
Is it Gunther versus Damian? I thought it was another pay-per-view. I didn't think it was SummerSlam, was it?
I don't know, man. That's what everybody's saying. Like SummerSlam is like in a month, and it's going to be Gunther. And I'm just sitting there like, well, how do they get there? But either way, I don't know.
The King of the Ring. Remember, that's how the match was set.
Gunther right. That's right. So yeah, the King getting
around the bowl, Phil.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. So yeah, man, and then like Punk was sitting at the announce table, like sitting on top of it, and then Rollins was like chewing him out. I told you to stay the fuck away from me, like full on swearing and everything.
Right.
So that's coming down the pipeline, but definitely not a triple threat. I agree with Awful there. And I don't know your thoughts on all of this, man, and your thoughts on was the cash in the right thing to do? I say it was because I don't want to see a guy running around Senor Money in the Bank. I don't want to see any of that shit for another year. Let the ladies do it, and the ladies are notorious. They read the stat, like they're 100% cash-ins turn into title like victories for women in with the Money in the Bank so far, and like 5 of them were the night of or something, the same night. So it's like fucking okay, let Tiffy hold her briefcase for like a year and have the dudes now. Like I feel like we just saw Damian doing all that shit for a year. I don't want to see another guy teasing he's going to get the belt for the next year. I just want to see
we just got out of a pay-per-view where the gimmick is if you win this thing, you get a championship shot. And the same thing is, so now it's redundant with Money in the Bank. So that's why you have Drew drop it and win it and then drop it later on in the program, because 2 MacGuffins in the same movie, nah, you don't want that happening.
So apparently Rollins got over 100 decibels, and Brandon Thurston, I'm sure, fact checked that too.
Mm-hmm. He got 95.
Yeah, his came up 95.
Mm-hmm.
Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Who are the participants? Let's scroll up here and see my guy. Let me see.
It was Zoe Stark.
All the names. So Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Laya Valkyria, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Zoe Stark. So this match, everybody put it over huge. Let's see what our guy Chris Mueller here. He gave it an A-. Now, I thought this match had some really great spots, but that's sort of what it was. It wasn't a struggle like the dudes. It was just like kind of like go to this spot, do this spot.
Right.
And it was a car wreck, like the way commentary and then like the crowd was like, they were saying it, they're almost like silent, they're on bated breath. And it's because a lot of that shit was scary that they were doing, and not in like a good way. Like some of it was like, oh my God, these girls are really going to fucking hurt. Someone's going to get hurt real bad. And it didn't live up to the hype I honestly thought it was going to, although it wasn't like an awful piece of shit. I'm not sitting here going like, I didn't enjoy it. Dude, I was popping and freaking out at so much of the spots. Like you see the one spot too where Io Sky did like the Michinoku driver off the ladder on Zoe.
Oh yeah.
Like the sit out, the Owen Hart tombstone or whatever off the fucking, and you saw Michael Cole, they played the replay. He had to turn away. He looked away, man, from the action. Stood up and looked away. And that's what I was like. It wasn't a lot of that shit was just, they all looked like a bunch of Shotzi Blackhearts out there. And what I mean is people are like, oh, Shotzi's crazy like Darby Allin. It's like, no, there's actually some grace to what Darby Allin does. I know he's an idiot, but there is some like, he's a stunt guy. He knows what he's doing. Shotzi's out there throwing her body around, like hurting people. It looks like people are going to get hurt. Like she just,
Io Sky looks the same way. Did you see those stomps that she was putting on Lyra Valkyrie's jaw?
Bro,
while she was hanging up. I was just like, holy cow.
That's that strong style shit, bro. I love that, dude. I love Io Sky. From back in the day. I'm a Mark, dude, but you already know. But like, man, this match, so many crazy spots. The Chelsea Green through the table spot was incredible. Someone flashed it back. She's taken that bump before in like TNA, but just man, the height she fell from. The finish though. So the last 5 minutes, I'd say, or the last like 3 minutes of that match really brought me into it, and I was really like, yes, like this is an incredible. Like the finish was so good, I thought. And the way Chelsea was selling, like she had that case unhooked, I thought for sure. Like she had the fucking carabiner open, like she's about to unhook it out of nowhere. The Tiffy time, the table spot, the Michinoku driver. There's a bunch of other ones, man. It was just crazy chaos, and I'll definitely never forget that Money in the Bank ladder match. And I think that's the point, right? Like that will resonate with me more than like a clean cut. You know, there's other ones I don't even really remember. I just remember who won. There will be
several clips in the music video from this event.
Yes, I will never forget just the chaos, edge of my seat. So I was kind of harsh on it. I felt like it was a little just kind of spot to spot to spot, and then the last few minutes really won me over. But overall, I guess an A. I don't know. I'd maybe give it like a B myself, a B plus, maybe a B minus. But your thoughts, man?
I liked it. I'd echo the same sentiment. I'd say it's a nice, B plus effort. They worked hard out there. They were all getting hurt. That's for damn sure. I mean, it's so crazy how you're able to negotiate pain with your coworkers. Like, okay, we're gonna really lay it in. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to give these people a show. Kind of like what Mia Yim and who was the other young lady, like who had Jada Parker did on NXT last week. I mean, that match was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal. And Mia Yim, when she botched like the dive to the outside, landed right on her face on the chairs, dude. Oh my god!
And had still had the wherewithal to go over and segue to that next spot real quickly. As Jada Parker was like barreling into her, she moved out the way or gave her a kick or whatever. I was like, wow, that's so. While she did get hurt on the dive, or her face planted on the dive, it didn't look like she was seriously hurt. She kept on.
No, she wasn't for sure. That was great wherewithal. And then in this match, you see the same thing, man. You see like the trust between Zoe Stark and Io Sky to do that fucking spot, man. My god, dude. And then Zoe sold it like a million. And then Io too. She was selling her ass, like her tailbone, like And you guys, Myron Reed earlier in the show, he was talking about how, dude, them leg drops on your, like, that's your tailbone, dude. Like, that'll fuck you up, I mean, damn, Io Sky, man, she sold that like $1 billion. And man, all these women are great. Women are the future of pro wrestling. Well, they're the now.
Let's not go too far there, Phil.
They're the dude. I'm telling you, the next wave of like big money stars, I truly feel like are going to be the women coming out of NXT. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but
sure. That's not disputable, but
which we'll talk about. So in the final, we had this Solo Sikoa sent a message to Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. So I think there was supposed to be like a Bloodline acknowledgement fucking segment on SmackDown, and all it was like a 2-minute video package quickly where Solo SmackDown was pretty good, but they built around this whole tag team title division, and then Gargano and Ciampa won the tag belts from Theory and Waller, who are going to start feuding. I think Theory is going to start going babyface, and they really reestablished like, okay, we have I don't know, they played all these video packages about like the greatest tag teams and so I thought it was a good go home show in that, I don't know, they gave me a big fight feel. And like, I don't really care about DIY, but I cared about them going into that match, that main event. So that was really cool. And then this I'll play the audio if I can. I don't want to get pulled or anything, but or it won't play, whatever. It won't play. But basically Solo's like, or here we go. Hopefully WWE doesn't pull me down. I'm not going to play the video, but
this is Olafala. This makes me the tribal chief. This is not what I wanted, but this is what my family needed. Roman Reigns was not man enough to defend our title at WrestleMania.
Damn, he's saying Roman wasn't man enough to defend our title. I like Solo, dude. I like his like mob boss promos, little brother trying to be like, no, I'm the boss now. I love that shit.
He was not man enough to defend our legacy against Cody Rhodes and his legacy. Therefore, he shall no longer call himself the Tribal Chief, because I'm the Tribal Chief now. And I am going to take back our WWE Undisputed title from Cody Rhodes. And if Roman Reigns wants that back, he can try and take it from me. Because I am going to show everyone in the Money in the Bank 6-man tag match, Cody Rhodes.
So, like, he pretty much just laid it out. He's going to fight Roman. Like, there's no mystery or, like, Roman tries to come back and then there's, like, a power struggle. None of that. It's just, no. When Solo's like, when Roman comes back, we're fucking fighting, you know? So that's pretty crazy. I was like, okay.
See, that is a little rushed, in my opinion. I don't think that he should have put it in that way. Like, Roman's gone. You have me as a tribal chief now. You know what I mean? Like, don't telegraph that, like, you know, Roman tell that story a little bit down the road.
Yeah, I think like if he's like posing as it, and then Roman, but he doesn't full on go, like, he starts doing the acknowledge me and stuff, but he doesn't full on go like, Roman's done and he can fight me if he. And then when Roman comes back, he's like, so what are you doing, little loose? You know, like, yeah. I see things have changed here. Like, you know, I left for a little bit. What's going on here? Like, da-da-da-da-da. But I think what they anticipate and what they know is going to happen, because you have this 6-man tag with Orton, KO, Cody, the Bloodline, and all of Toronto's chanting, we want Roman, as the match starts. Right. So it's like they know that when he comes out, there's no mystery or intrigue. So I think they are telegraphing it. I think in a perfect world, it would be the way we're saying it, awful. But I think WWE is smart enough to know, like, okay, when he comes out, the place is going to explode, and there's not going to be any time for that. He's just going to be babyface. And they're all going to be, you know, like, he can't pretend like he hasn't heard the we want Roman chants and shit. So it's got to be him just coming out, spearing the shit out of Solo, you know, like fucking knocking out fucking Jacob, whatever. And
to be honest, I am on like the 1990s time. Like, I keep thinking that SummerSlam is like months away. It's only a few weeks away. So they may have to fast track things for that sake. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So do you, well, okay, let's go through this match. Let's go through this match.
Let's go through this one.
It was I thought it was good. I thought it was a lot of just slow pace selling. You could tell Jacob, they were telling him to slow down a bit. You could see KO telling him that, slow down. And you could tell he's got to work out his sort of pacing as far as the WWE style of, like, you also see there was at one point where Solo or where Jacob tagged in, and then he just went to jump in the ring right away, and you could see Solo actually coaching him, which is so good to see him step up, man. And this fucking Solo's the man. I don't care what anyone's saying. Like, he's the there's a fucking reason they've pushed him the way they have. It's not like, oh, he's Roman's cousin. Like, that's not why they're doing it. Okay, there's a reason they are, and it's because he can run with the ball when you give it to him. And he was telling Jacob, you could see him, like, Jacob went to get in the ring right away. You guys could go back and watch it. And he slings his first leg into the ropes, and he goes to get in the ring. And then you can see Solo's like, slow down, slow down. And then Jacob stops, and then he goes back out the rope, and his, like, one leg's inside the ring, and he's kind of selling. And like, that's Solo coaching him right there, being like, yo, big dog, just chill for 1 second. Like, make the tag, just stare him down. Like, everyone's waiting for you to cut. So I don't know. I like that they threw Jacob to the wolves, to the fire, and he can obviously hang. It's not like he can't hang. His freak, he got himself in tremendous shape, by the way. If you followed him at MLW and shit, he's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah, he looks like two different people.
Bro, and his athleticism, the way he's fucking, just his explosiveness in his ability to just do different maneuvers and stuff. I don't know, just phenomenal. He did the headbutts a bunch. There were these marks online getting fucking mad because he, quote unquote, no-sold Randy Orton's. Oh, if Will Ospreay did this, you'd be... No, dude, Will Ospreay took a doomsday device to the outside of the ring and then took 80 pile drivers and then and then started shaking his neck in his Hulk up. This guy took a DDT. This is the oldest shit ever, a Samoan no-selling their head. That's the oldest shit. Awful's talking about he's old in the 90s. Yeah. We're talking 70s, 80s. Fucking, this is the oldest Samoan no-sell in their head ever. It's the oldest thing ever. These marks are, oh, he's not Maki Ito. That's not his gimmick. Like, what are these fucking...
Who knows?
Oh, man, it drives me insane. But yeah, so they did the just a tremendous spot. I couldn't believe when I went on X and people were crying about this spot where Orton out of nowhere, like Jacob gets tagged in, Orton's in there. Jacob comes running in. Orton, the veteran, knows it. So he fucking drops down. Jacob flies out of the ring, right? And Orton's like, yeah, like I'm fucking smarter than this dude. Jacob climbs up the apron. Orton gets him in the DDT, you know, the Orton DDT, the draping DDT, hits him with it. And then Orton starts selling to the crowd, like with his back turned. He's selling to the hard cam. Jacob pops up from it. And so not only is it the hard-headed Samoan, but it's the first move Jacob ate of the match was that fucking DDT.
Right.
Then he pops up. So it wasn't like later in the match or anything. They booked it brilliantly. That was literally, I popped so hard.
They so badly want to put that moment in a vacuum and separate it from everything else. Just like you said, the Samoans have hard heads. It works. It works in full context.
Man, and Orton then sets up the RKO. He's doing the snake, the banging on the mat. You know, when he spins around to do it, he looks up and just Jacob standing above him. Just that shot. Orton selling it. Like, just great shit. Good shit, pal. And then, it was just a lot of like people selling and stuff the whole match. A lot of headbutts and all that. But overall, I really enjoyed it. And then Solo pinned Cody clean, at least as clean as you can with Tonga Loa. Again, Dave Meltzer being a fucking dummy. Who did he say would be in the match again? Didn't he say like...
Dummy, yeah.
I can't remember. He's like, oh, it's supposed to be Solo and Tama and Loa.
And yeah, right, and not Jacob. That
and
was
not Jacob. And then what I said is, I was like, I heard this is what someone was pitching me in my DMs. They were going, yo, bro, it'll be Jacob and fucking the GODs, and Solo will be at ringside or whatever.
Right.
And then it ended up being fucking Jacob and Tama and Solo, just like the fucking graphic advertised. So I don't know, man. Just don't. Dave just needs to shut the fuck up, which we'll get into in a bit more. But anyways, though, I thought this match was solid. Solo pins Cody clean. So we're obviously getting that match at SummerSlam. That seems to be what it is. And then, so I wanted to ask you, Roman, does he return at SummerSlam? So first, give me your thoughts on the match and Jacob Fatu's like big debut here. And then tell me about if you think Roman will appear at this SummerSlam or they milk it a little longer.
Well, I'll answer the second question first. Roman's got to be at SummerSlam as it stands now. He's going to be the one that moves the tickets. So you might want to get him on board real quick so they can try to sell out a stadium. I don't know if they haven't done it yet or whatever. But as far as the match, I like the match. I have one nitpick. And if you rewatch the match, go and take a look at it. I think Jacob Fatu sells a little too much. Okay. I think he should sell like Brock Lesnar, like where you shake your head and like feel your head, like kind of shake it off like a wounded bear. You know what I mean, and still be on the attack. But he was trying to make the veterans look good. Like he oversold a couple of Kevin Owens punches, and obviously oversold for Randy Orton. But a monster like that, I think you want to protect them as much as possible. Don't have them oversell. Other than that, great match, and no problem with it.
And so overall, your thoughts on this Money in the Bank event, and do you think the right people won? And do you like? What am I trying to ask?
Yeah,
okay. Overall, like, what did you think overall of the event? Like, you give it a B+, an A. Like, what would you grade it? I guess Bleacher.
I give it 3 out of 5 stars. If I had to do a star rating, I'd give it a nice solid B. I can't remember too much about it. You know what I mean? Like there were moments, but as we will see, Heatwave completely, clears this card.
Heatwave was phenomenal, which we'll talk about right here next. So just a little news coming out of Money in the Bank. So Josh Alexander and his wife Jade Chung were backstage at Money in the Bank. They're Canadian. They are checking it out. But Ethan Page, who we're going to talk about with Heatwave here, that was his tag team partners. This guy here, Josh Alexander and TNA. For the long time, they were called the North, and a lot of people considered them to be one of the best tag teams in the world. So that's a cool little tidbit of news. And then, I mean, we're talking about Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Like, how can you not like this dude, man? Look at that. They're throwing money at him. And I think that's Rikishi right there. Phenomenal.
Oh,
so
okay. I thought you were going to. Hey, I was looking somewhere else, and when you said Rikishi, I was like, "Oh, that's low."
Come on now. And then speaking of the Bloodline, here is every other potential Bloodline member we could see in the WWE. So here's Lance and Hawaii. So do you get off on like highlight packages like this where it's like
not really? No.
Yeah, to me, because like Jacob Fatu ain't done. Yeah, Jacob ain't done none of the shit they're showing in his packages, you know, because why would he? Why is he going to kill his body? And he's not barefoot anymore either.
Don't oversaturate us with Samoans. Please don't do it.
You don't think so? So here's Lance and
please
Hawaii.
Don't give us every Samoan.
Here's Juicy for now, who's talking about just like smoke weed and
Juicy.
I'm here to do the damage. Drink your beer, smoke your weed, and eat your goddamn food.
You know what I mean? And he's like this. He's this big dude doing like crazy.
Yeah. What could we use him for?
Look at this big dude, man. Just fucking. Oh my god. So I don't know. I don't think WWE's looking at this guy, but not even being a hater. Here's Journey Fatu.
Right up.
Okay.
Here's Journey Fatu. So
you ruined it with the dancing, my man. I was on your side. Oh, so you're gonna just do everything that the Samoans that we see in WWE are doing. That's all.
Well, they all have always done the same moves, more or less.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Don't oversaturate this. Do not bring, obviously they're not going to bring in guys like this, but like, I think you might be done. You might have to put a moratorium on Samoans.
Here's a Tamiko Fatu.
In the WWE.
Here's Tamiko Fatu.
Who?
Tamiko Fatu.
Let's see Tamiko. All right. God, they all look alike, don't they? God, is that racist to say?
No, it's not, man. They're all family, dude. They're all cousins.
They all look like Rikishi.
Well, these are all his sons, bro. All these Fatus, these are Rikishi's sons. He's got like 7 kids. Yeah, dude. These guys are all
find the time.
I don't know, man. He was, and then they have Hikuleo, who everyone knows. They don't even have a package of him for whatever reason. And then here's Zilla Fatu, who WWE's already like. This kid is going to WWE. I'm telling you guys that right now. Yeah, he's just working with Booker in Reality of Wrestling, getting his greenness off. You know what I mean? He's an OVW working too.
Right.
But this kid is WWE bound. And he got his body in tremendous shape recently too. Like really shaped up. And I'm like, yeah, he's going to WWE. Like he's getting ready. He bodied himself up too. So and what I like about this kid is he's big, but he's more like a Roman build, a Roman Reigns build. So,
say again.
I like this kid because he's more. His body type's more of like a Roman Reigns. Like I know
you mean Jim and Jay Uso. I don't think Roman. Reigns.
Sure. He's more like Reigns, but I'm telling you, dude, these clips are all. You got to look at his most recent. Like he's bodied himself up. You know what I mean? Like he's getting ready for WWE. Yeah, like. To where I think he's very Uso-y, but I'm just telling you, like, when it all comes together and he's in his prime, he's going to look like a fucking Roman Reigns type. Yeah, more than he looks like a Solo Sikoa type. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm getting at there. But anyways, though, let's talk about Heatwave. So let's share this one. So Heatwave, as Awful said a moment ago, just a phenomenal show, top to bottom. So
how good was the show, Phil? It was so good that because I do a show during NXT, Heatwave, the pre-show, was able to recap me and catch me up. And so I felt like I was caught up and no match confused me or was beyond my understanding. That's how good NXT Heatwave was. An average knucklehead like me could see that pay-per-view or that PLE and really enjoy it.
And they had over 10,000.
My wife enjoyed it.
There you go. There you go. See, that's a good barometer too. Like my girlfriend, if she's into some shit, I know it's like appealing to the masses and not just like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because she doesn't give a shit about just like, a match for a match. Like she doesn't care about that at all.
Right.
You know? But
well, Javon Evans reminds her of her cousin. And he does. So
there you go. But they had over 10,000 people packed in there, dude. And Dave Meltzer. Oh, why would they go to the Apex? They could go and sell 5,000 tickets to these NXT shows easily. Well, because Dave, you don't blow your wad. You give people a little taste of what their Vegas residency could look like, and then you go and sell 10K for Money in the Bank weekend in Toronto. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Stay out of this bit. You don't know what you're doing. You're not smart. You never booked anything. Couldn't book a fucking haircut. So
Heatwave got 10,000, huh? I didn't know
over 10,000 people, dude. We're in there.
Why? I got a question. Why were they filming it like it was Collision?
Well, because you know why. They packed out the one side probably because that's the oldest.
They certainly did. The old tarping.
Yeah, dude. But the whole thing is like the whole weekend is between SummerSlam, SmackDown, and Money in the Bank, Heatwave, and SmackDown in Toronto. They sold over 45,000 tickets, dude. So like, come on, what are we? That's All In. All In has only sold 45K, and that shit's in like a month too. So, anyways, damn, we have a jam-packed show. Every match hit. God, it just really got me invested in NXT's must-watch. I've been saying it forever, guys. A lot of people are like, I can't really get into it. Just think of it as like studio wrestling from back in the day. I don't know. It's like a college campus league where they're all just striving to win titles. Like, everybody, why they're competing and what they're doing. And everyone has a story and everybody has a character that you can get invested in. And I don't know, man.
I don't know about you, Phil, but that's what I grew up on. 13 different wrestling promotions, you know what I mean? Vying for your attention. And that's what these young wrestling fans don't understand now. There's only like 2 or 3 games in town. Back in the day, you could watch 5 or 6 wrestling promotions and still be invested in all of them because they were all good. So,
yeah, man. And NXT is very good, and so is TNA, which God, I've been meaning to review more of, but it'll happen, folks. Don't worry. Definitely their PLEs. But anyways, we kick things off with on the Countdown show, they had JC Jane and Jasmine Nix take on Carmen Petrovich and Ariana Grace. It was what it was. It was just a tag match. Petrovich and Grace won. They're all great women, but they're sort of on the back burner, which is crazy because JC Jane and Gigi Dolan were like, everyone's sitting there going, they're going to be called up. Like, they're main roster ready to. They're like afterthoughts in the women's division now. It's kind of weird. But match was what it was. But the North American Championship kicked off the Heatwave card. Did you catch the pre-show or no?
I did not catch the pre-show, nor did I catch this match, but I heard it was pretty damn good.
So this match was, I thought it was phenomenal. Now, Oba Femi, a little bit, there's still a little greediness in there, you can tell, but it sort of works for him.
What was he doing out there?
Well, it was just there was certain spots where he's doing like I call it the wake up taunt. In 2K, like he's sitting there like clearly just waiting for the guy to set himself up. Meanwhile, Wesley's selling his ass off, and like and Oba Femi's got to know like he's got to work his way into that moment and not just like be ready for it right then. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's just like trying to get the match done 2K style. He's hitting that wake up taunt and like, get over here and just hitting this shit, And Wesley's like, bro, you just threw me 8 feet in the air. So like Oba Femi hit fucking Wesley, and shout out the Rascalz, fucking Myron Reed on earlier in the show. So we're gonna give the Rascalz a fucking Because if you guys have been watching TNA, the reason I bring it up is because, Charlie Dempsey showed up over there, and the Rascalz, they're like, we're pissed, man. Basically, the fucking Rascalz are probably going to show up in NXT, and we're going to get like a reunion between them all, is what I'm getting at, okay? Like at somewhere, possibly like a 6-man tag or a trios match, whatever you want to call it. But either way, okay? Femi hits Wesley with this like 12-foot F5 in the air, just tosses him in the air. Guy does like fucking 3 rotations, Tony Hawk style, lands on his leg. And then he's hit, I don't know, just every move. Wesley's selling his ass off. Wesley, I was going like a couple months ago, I was like, man, I'm a little like, I don't know about him. Like before he got hurt, obviously, but I was like, damn, I feel like every match I'm watching is the same shit. But then him against Femi one-on-one, him just selling his ass off, I went, yeah, that guy's money right there. Like the art of wrestling, selling, dude, truly. Like selling for your opponent, getting them over, dude. And that's just what Wesley just gave everything to Femi, but then still found a way to like use his speed to push Femi to the limit. And then there was just a couple phenomenal spots, like I pointed them out. And like shout out Wesley, just came back from a crazy injury and was just bumping around like fucking crazy for this guy, man. It's like scary bumps. So I applaud this match. That's how you get a fucking powerhouse over. That's almost what I thought Breaker and Sammy was going to be. Like Breaker just killing him, you know? Yeah, so I don't know. Just a crazy... And Femi's just over like Rover. That guy's going to be main roster one day, just super mega over. But I do think they need to give him a mouthpiece of some sort. But your thoughts, though? You didn't catch this match, or your thoughts on my rambling about it?
I definitely will give it a watch.
Excellent.
Do you think it was rewatchable?
Absolutely, bro. Like here, I need to. Hopefully, I don't get pulled for none of this. But like here, he did the pop-up power bomb, reverses it into the 1-2. Dude kicks out. I don't want to get pulled for nothing. But here, there's a spot here. Hopefully, they show you one of these where. Kick. No, they're not. Here we go. They're not showing any of his. Okay. Yeah, the meteor to the back. Yeah, I don't know. He had a couple. Like there was a spot where Oba was covered. Like he had Wesley had him covered, and then Femi just said nope. He just stood up and picked the dude up in the air and just I don't know. It's fucking awesome. Anyways, though, then we had the Women's North American Championship match. Now. Where do we start, man? We almost have to save this for the end of the goddamn show because I don't even know where to start with this. Kelani Jordan and Sol Ruca, they had a tremendous match. 2 baby faces, 2 flippy. It was very an AEW style match. I even see a lot of the WWE accounts being like, "This is a match of the year contender," and it's like, well, I don't know about all that. Hold on, now. No. This is a solid match. It was a little too much of the. Some of it was a little too much for me, but I don't cry about it. Like I love Ricochet. I love fucking Ospreay. I really do. Like, right. I do love the flippy time to time. You just want to see, I'm a big Young Buck fan from back in the day. They were fucking awesome when you could just whip on a New Japan card and they'd come out in the junior heavyweights and fucking just do all their spot. Dude, I love that shit. I do enjoy it. Sol Ruca's been over with me since day one. I wish she would wear like the jean short and lean into that beach bum gear a little more than just like her standard ring attire. It's just, it's her way she can stand out, do the jean shorts, do the, like, I don't know, the bikini bottom or something. I don't know. I'm not a designer here. I'm just saying lean into the surfer beach bum volleyball chick thing. I think, maybe like instead of like a colorful top, she could have like a cut off tee or so, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. And then
come down to the ring with a surfboard.
No, not that, but just like, wear a fucking a tie-dye tee. Like, no, you don't even have to do the stoner thing. Just like lean into the beach bum type thing. Anyways, you have Kelani Jordan, who at first, man, I was like, I didn't get it with her as far as I just felt like it was sort of routine.
She looked like a jobber.
And then at the last pay-per-view, PLE, at the Apex, I went, dude, she's just a break. Like it clicked with me. I went, oh yeah, she's really selling her ass off, and she just kicked it into another gear, I guess. And to me, I'm like, she's a breakout star waiting to happen. This match solidified that in my mind too. Like there were parts where I don't know, just her timing. Her facials when selling were really good. The whole like struggle element. So even though they did some of the gymnastics type stuff, Kelani made it feel like it wasn't easy to do the shit. You know what I mean? Everything felt like it had I don't know. I really enjoyed this match for what it was, but I get where some people go, "Oh, this isn't wrestling." Like Disco Inferno quote teaches like, "This isn't wrestling though." And like I agree where if you just isolate that one spot, you could go like, "Yeah,
that's exactly what people did." They
exactly
isolated the one spot and did not put it in the context of the entire match.
And like, what's the difference? Like, you know, those cruiserweight back and forths where like Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero would get in like, okay, wrist lock, flip over, kip up, wrist, wrist lock. You know what I mean? Behind the back, fucking headlock takeover, head scissors, kip up. Like, isn't that the same as like people flipping around like ninjas in a movie? I almost feel like that's the same. I don't know if you've ever been in a real fight, but people aren't doing that shit. You know what I mean? They're not like wrist lock, somersault, flip around, fucking. So it doesn't offend me that much. Like wrestling suspending the disbelief, and I was okay with it. I love this match. Is basically what I'm getting at. So it just disappointed me that as a wrestling fan, I go on X and all you fuckers are crying, on both sides of it. It's like, come on, man. This was fucking solid. So she defends the title. Kelani does. Excellent. I love that her move is the one of a kind, she calls it, the split-legged moonsault. I loved the transitions between the spots. It wasn't like, oh, we just need to get to this spot and get to this spot. It was like, we're going to do all this cool shit to get to this spot. And then I also like the story they told with the package leading in awful, where they told the story Kelani was a by-the-books scholarship, got in here, best college, trained from the ground up, and then they told the story Ruca. She's like, no, I built my shit like Ninja Warrior in my backyard, and I didn't have anybody to teach me, and I taught myself, and I was so good I got offered at a lower level whatever, but I managed to win nationals for acrobatic. Like they fucking explained you're gonna probably see some flippy shit, but these two flippers are like legit the flippiest. They're like some of the most accoladed flippy chicks in the fucking world, and it's not. They've
won championships with their flippy shit.
Yeah, it's not just like here's fucking Action Andretti versus Kyle O'Reilly, and this guy's just gonna do what Osprey can do because they can all do with no reason why or rhyme or reason. So it's not like every Kelani Jordan match is this. So when they do it the one time, you can go, wow, that was a spectacular moment. Not every Soul Ruca match is her doing cartwheels and doing Osprey spots. So it works when they do it in this instance where it's acrobat versus acrobat who like respect each other type thing. It fucking worked, man. They told the story. They explained it. So I ranted and raved. Awful. I want your thoughts.
Very quickly. Great match. Didn't know either one of them. Know a little bit about them, but I'm going to push back just a little bit and very quickly in saying that Saul Ruca and Kelani Jordan, that wasn't much of a story between them. They're just competitors going against each other. They're both flippy, and that's the story. Is it a great story? Is it a compelling story? Not really, but it's a story nonetheless. So yeah, great match with two people who I barely knew. Got to know them a little bit better. It was all right. I liked it.
Okay, fair enough, man. This guy gave it an A+, so I'm more on that. Yeah, some people are saying match of the year contender. I'm not on that train, but I'm definitely a fan. So the NXT Tag Team Championship match, Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Chase U. God, dude, I don't give a fuck about Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
Have no care for what they're doing.
Yeah, dude. And then Chase U is like, they were hot and over with me, and then they did this weird thing where they tried to take Thea Hale away with JC Jane and all this and turn her like into like this, I wear black leather and I'm a badass chick, and then they dipped away from it, and I was complaining about it on the pod the whole time. I was like, you took what makes her different away and you just made her into like another girl who wears black leather and tries to be sexy, like there's 100 of those. Like like Thea Hale was like this college girl cheerleader, come on, like it made her unique. I don't know. Anyways, I couldn't care less. Like I didn't fucking to me, dude, this match was like, I wanted to like it. I mean, yeah, it was a good wrestling, sure, but like this guy gave it an A-. But to me, I'm not invested in any of these characters or the story of Nathan and Axiom breaking up or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
right. I mean,
yeah,
who cares?
A-Kid. It used to be A-Kid, that South African dude. They put him in a mask. Right. Yeah. So did you, your thoughts on the match, just no care or?
Didn't give one S.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense. NXT Women's Championship, Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. I had a feeling Lola was going to do the job. Lola, I don't know. They both just stood out tremendously. They're coming off the back of a super cringy segment from last week's NXT that sort of went semi-viral, and they're coming off the backs of that segment. And
they knew they had to bring it.
Yeah, they knew they had to bring it, and this match was fucking awesome. And Lola Vice, man, Valerie Lareda, her shoot name. I've been following her since her early MMA days, and man, is she just, I'm telling you guys, she's the future. And Roxanne Perez is just that vet putting on great bangers with whoever you throw at her, getting everyone over a little more. And I think it's her time to continue with the title.
Why did they give Lola Vice the rookie treatment? Is that the role that she's playing right now?
Yeah, I mean, she is a rookie. I think she's like in under 2 years in her career, dude, pro wrestling. So,
all right.
And she's already she beat Shayna Baszler in the underground match, and they're pushing her, man. They see it. They broke her up like she used to be in like a team, and then they split her up, because then they're pushing her, and they stuck the other girl with the other faction, Legado del Fantasma. Yeah. So anyways, though, Lola Vice is ready for the big time, but yeah, she'll be your future NXT Women's Champion, probably heel, taking on the Soul Rucas and the Kelani Jordans and that. So can't wait for that. Your thoughts on the match?
I liked it. The ending was it was just like, damn, they really hate Lola Vice. 5 of her finishers, or I think it might have been 4 of the same finisher, and just put her away decisively. So that this feud is over. Yeah. Not to mention the finisher on the table. And then she kicked out at 2. That took me out of it. Because if you're going to do 5 moves to end the match, you might as well do 1 move on a table that won't break and finish the match there. That's just me, though.
This guy wrote it down, 4th and 5th pop boxes.
Okay, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was one after the other. So it was just like, oh, it sent the match to another level for a few seconds. It was just like, oh, now this is kind of brutal. Like now it's almost like you're burying the young lady. And that's kind of how I felt.
Damn. See, I just looked at it like we're keeping her stronger. Like, you know what I mean? We're going to just destroy her so that I think they looked at it as a way to keep her strong, but like I agree with you, it's just a bit much. Like I don't need all that, but I think that's like the monster. They're like, no, it took 5 finishers to defeat her, you know?
And so even on the third one, she didn't get a pin attempt. So that's where it was just like, okay, if you would have done 2 of them and got a 2 count, which would have been absurd, and then did another 3 and then got the 3 count, it would have been something. But she did them one after the other, after the other, after the other. It was just like, ooh, this is a burial right here.
Yeah, dude.
But anyway, go ahead.
The main event. We have the main event. Now, before we talk about the main event, we will look at film marks, bookmarks, and Cultaholic Wrestling posted a quote from Ethan Page via Talkin' Shop Wrestling podcast, which I think is like the Gallows and Anderson's podcast, if I'm not mistaken. So Ethan Page says that AEW was so chaotic and unorganized compared to WWE NXT, which he calls an incredible machine. And I tweeted you, Awful. I fucking told you, bud. I told you this guy was a guy. I told you, man, he never got a real chance in AWP. Oh, they pushed him with the ATT. They pushed him with Dan Lambert and the American Top Team. Yeah, that cringe.
I never said any of that, by the way.
No, I know you didn't, but just other people like, yo, dude, you mean that cringe MMA shit that even Dan Lambert trashed after he left AEW? Right. Like after he was affiliated, he went on, he publicly said it, like what they were doing was stupid and he felt they could have did more, and like the shit he was saying. Yeah, he said the shit that he was saying in his promos was like real, like pretty much off, like was his real feelings about the company type shit. So it's so goobery. And then here's Ethan Page. Just, I told you, bro, this guy could be a real player, man. And he was, yeah. So here we go. Here's more proof of it. But he goes on to say, I went from somewhere that was so chaotic and unorganized. So there's just further proof. Like, is he lying? Oh, he's sucking WWE's dick. Man, everyone says this shit about them.
Right.
Like, it's obviously the truth. And so Ethan Page goes on to say, to a place that, I mean, I'm still learning because I'm still so new here, but this is a machine and it's incredible. It feels good to not feel like I have to do everything myself. To have people that want to see me succeed is kind of mind-blowing. Right there. To have people that want to see me succeed and that are actively like, okay, they didn't just sign Ethan Page to keep him from the wubs, bro. Like so many people think, dude, they signed him. Like WWE's got a bloated roster, but they're not going to overbloat it to the point where it's like AEW, man. And they signed him because there's people actively working on how are we going to highlight this guy's positives and turn him into a fucking star and help him be this shithead heel that he's actually a vet though. So his fucking experience, we're going to teach him our way, and maybe he could be a main roster, mid-card, lower card player one day. Maybe he could exceed that. Who knows? He's already the fucking NXT champion. Who saw that shit coming? But they have people going, okay, we're going to get this guy over. That's why we fucking signed him. We're not just going to waste money, market him, take pictures of him, get all this shit, film all this shit, and waste our fucking time and money. And especially not now. This isn't Vince's WWE. They're not just like, making whole fucking storylines that'll just evaporate in thin air. So yeah, man, they brought him in. He said it was chaotic. Now he has people behind him who are wanting him to succeed. Nah, bro, you're here for a reason, right? He walks into the building. Sorry to cut you off. He looked like $1 million. What were you going to say?
That's why creative freedom, creative control is a double-edged sword. While you do have the creative freedom, no one's going to push you in the success route that you want to be in. Like you're not going to get that.
I think that's a cop out. That's a cop out by like bookers and like creative, like Tony Khan. That's a cop out. Like you're not creative enough to come up for shit for these people. So,
because you don't know who they are, and they themselves don't know who they are, and there's no workshopping to find out who the hell they are. And that what he said may be one of the more prophetic quotes that I have for the book.
Excellent. I like that. And so I'm excited to read this book one day, dude. So NXT Championship, though, the 4-way, Ethan Page comes in the building, looks like $1 million. Sean Spears getting big pops. Page, they kind of wanted to cheer for him, but he came out and was like, on his jacket, it said like American resident or something.
Yeah, me and my wife looked at that. We were like, resident of the USA.
Yeah. He's just it's heat, he's just a dick. Like you can't cheer this guy even in his hometown. You have Trick, who just, my God, the place went insane for him, man. He is just such a, and this is why this is awesome what they did. You have Javon Evans, whose music, I'm bouncy or whatever. That shit's stupid, but he's just a brilliant fucking young star waiting to have like. This is what I mean. If you have one Javon Evans, I'll take one Javon Evans over. And this is no disrespect, but name me 10 guys who can do flips in AEW on any show. Rampage, pick one. And I'll take one Javon Evans over 10 of any of those guys. You know what I mean? That's all I'm fucking saying.
And I think you and I both know the reason. That motherfucker can sell his ass off.
Sell, bro. It's all about selling. And he
does some real crazy, like, goofy moves that make you laugh, but they are yet still effective. I think he did like a plank dive onto somebody, and it just looked so goofy, but it worked.
Yeah, man. It's just him like with his little style and everything on it. I love it. And yeah, man, selling is just the number one thing. Absolutely. Yeah. And he gets it. And he has a quote saying that he loves He's like, I love going directly to Matt Bloom, and he named someone else. He's like, because they just tell you right how it is. He's like, I don't want no bullshit. I want real criticism. Like, how can I get better? And I'm like, word, dude. You hear stories about Jack Perry, and it's like, no, I don't need to listen to Arn Anderson. I don't need to listen to. It's like, come on, man, you guys are goofs. And so, anyways, so
Trick Williams does look like a star, by the way.
He's just $1 million, bro. That guy on the main roster. That's, I mean, him versus Braun Breaker. That's like a WrestleMania main event in 5-10 years or whatever, you know. I truly believe that. But anyways, man, you have another breakthrough star, Ethan Page, dude. He won the NXT championship in a great finish too, where Trick was selling it. He was like clawing to get there, and the look on his face, it was like fucking Mufasa falling from the cliff. You know what I mean? Like fucking Trick's crawling, and oh my god, and his belt gets taken from him, and he's like, and he's just shocked, and then he's turning up Drew style. He's like, this is bullshit, and da-da-da-da, and like he did the scissor knee on Ethan Page. I could sit here and blow every spot to death, but it was just a tremendous four-way. Like, usually four-ways are a little messy. God, this was really good, and you had Spears and Page in there, the two veterans, the two heels, so they're leading the match. They just got the best out of Trick and the best out of Javon, and this is just such a good match, and then Ethan wins the belt, which I think is just the right call, man. He's like a fringe, like, I'll sign this deal, but you have to do this for me. And then he weasels his way in, and then he wins the belt, and now Trick's got to chase it again. But Javon wants it, and they're friends, and there was a little bit of so we got, I don't know, lots of good stuff coming in the future of NXT. And this, if people weren't awake to NXT, this is a great show and starting point to like put this fucking show on. Like Awful said at the top, you'll learn about everything, you'll care about everything, you'll understand every character, and from Heatwave on, start watching NXT, and I think you guys will absolutely be hooked like I am. I just love it. Your thoughts on this match and all ego Ethan Page, man?
So much to say about this match. I mean, so many stories being brought to the table. The best thing, the best finish I might have seen all year as far as any wrestling match. I mean, that was just so concise, so to the point. And I think I mentioned this before a few weeks back. AEW, when they do their wrestling and their flippy flops, it's almost like a formulaic type of thing where it goes flip, 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 boom, or try to get their attack. With WWE, it's always flip, boom. They go right for the attack in every one of these, like what you would call a flippy type of match. But it's so much more, it's so much sharper, it's so much quicker, it's more impactful. This match had more of the same. Best finish of the night. Everybody was made in this match. Even fucking Sean Spears was made in this match. Like he was like the tone of the match. Like, we're gonna slow it down when we need to. Ethan Page, he was the first time I saw him wrestle in ever. So he was all right. And Javon Evans, I mean, my goodness, I can't, like, he's one of those guys where it's just like, what the hell is this twig doing in the middle of a ring? Oh, that's why he's in the middle of the ring. He's good. So yeah, I wouldn't say match of the year, but finish of the year, easily.
You liked it that much, huh? That's absolutely phenomenal.
My goodness, it was great. If AEW had the same type of match with four guys that I didn't really know, I most likely would give it the same rating, because again, everybody wanted to win the match, not show off. Even there was a little spot. I hate the yay boo spots, the back and forth fist spots, but they work in this context because, you know, it just works. They're not going for like the yay boo spots. They're really trying to knock each other's head off. And so, yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. I'm not a fan of Ethan Page yet, but I see what he brings to the table, and I'm shocked that Tony Khan gave that up. Incredible.
I absolutely loved it. And then so yeah, this guy gave it an A+. I love this show. I'd grade it like an A overall, I guess. So coming off the back of it, and this is the last thing, Awful, okay? This is the last thing we're gonna get into. Okay. It is time for everybody's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer and Bryan Alvarez, Dumb Moment of the Week. So coming off the back of this this pay-per-view, dude, or this PLE rather, why can't you just call it pay-per-view? Because fuck you, that's why. But Dave Meltzer and Bryan Alvarez come out on Wrestling Observer Radio and say, listen to this fucking clip. Listen to this fucking clip. I can't believe this, guys. I'm going to snap here. Let's listen to this, okay?
Cool. And this was a very, very heavily choreographed gymnastics display that was disguised.
Can you pause it for just 1 second, Phil? He looks like he knows it's bullshit to say.
Now
he knows it's like he knows what's coming.
Is he trolling, trying to trigger everyone, or is this
some fourth level, some 4D chess over here? Probably not. I would have to say, like, you know what? I think so. It could be a grift. He knows that this brings in engagement. He knows it's going to divide the fan base, and that's why he's got that silver YouTube award sitting right behind him.
Dude, because I'm not like, I feel like I'm at least like, I'm pretty fucking dumb, but I'm like somewhat intelligent in some regards, and there's no way he's being fucking serious. This can't be, dude. There's no way I'm getting worked by this dude. There's no way. And if I
got worked,
God forbid, man, Jesus.
Or vice versa. And I mean, the crowd got into it because they just did one crazy flip.
Like, I swear he's doing this to parrot what people would criticize a Young Bucks match for, and then we'll all go, man, what a dumbass, he's blah 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 blah, and then he'll be like, yeah, see, it doesn't like, no matter what I say, you're just gonna hate or whatever, you know? Like, is that his angle? Is he playing the 4D chess? I don't fucking know, but God, Alvarez, if you wanted to trigger someone, you triggered your boy Phil.
Yeah, you certainly did.
Was disguised as a wrestling match or vice versa. And I mean, the crowd got into it because they just did one crazy flip after another. There were tornillos. There were spots where they just started doing flips and
tornillos. The fuck?
What is that?
I don't know. Some shit you buy at 7-Eleven at 2 a.m.
I was just about to say, like, yeah, that sounds like a chip.
Yeah.
handsprings and, you know, reverse Frankensteiners and acais and running moonsaults. And finally there at the end, Kelani avoided the Soul Snatcher, cradled her for 2, and then gave her a middle rope Frankensteiner and a split-legged moonsault for the pin. So Kelani retains the women's North American title.
Yeah, both of these women have a shot to be real superstars because they are
fucking Dave. I just love it. Oh yeah, they do. Tell us, Dave. Oh, you fucking think?
Really freaky athletes. They're really great at that. It was an athletic display. It was not a wrestling match. It was.
Oh my God!
You what?
Oh,
let's hear more. Let's hear more. Hold on. Let's find out why it wasn't a wrestling match.
You goddamn liar!
It was almost weird to me to watch it because it's kind of like you never see a match like this in anywhere, really. You know
what? Oh my God! What is he talking about? Dude, I can't believe this. This is real. Here, I'm going to bring this back a bit. I'm freaking out here. This is fucking insane.
It was not a wrestling match. It was almost weird to me to watch it because it's kind of like you never see a match like this in anywhere, really. You know, where they're just out there. It's like you're out there trying to like just, you know, just do.
It was like an exhibition. Here's a bunch of.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Conan!
Oh my God!
Cool moves.
Yeah, and you know, here, and the one thing I have to say about it is, like in a sense, when I was watching it, I'm going like, you know, this is not good, but the crowd liked it, and you know,
I'm fucking floored. Are these guys awful? Are they serious?
If I'm correct, you've got Neckbeard's video ready to go, and it will say a lot about what these guys are talking about right now. Like,
I can't.
They are literally describing a Will Ospreay match.
Yes, they're describing a fucking Young Bucks. This is exactly what Jim Cornette said about the fucking Young Bucks. These guys, are they working everybody right now?
I say yeah. I say yes. I mean, they can't be this dense.
Like, this is like rage bait. This is like rage bait for the fucking Observer, because they're going downhill. Like,
Marks, thousands of dollars on the table each month. I mean, why not?
Oh my God.
Why not?
Well, guys, keep clipping the shit on X so I give you and your blue checks the fucking revenue for views and not these guys. I can't believe that, man.
Yeah, $14.99 over here, please. Thank you.
Dude, you should see the amount of shit I got tagged in on X overnight over Dave's. Like, when I woke up this morning, I'm looking at my phone going, holy shit. Like, I didn't listen to any of this because I didn't want to spoil it for myself. I love to live react on the show and everything, and I'm actually flabbergasted. Everyone's like, man, Phil's gonna cook this guy. I can't even really cook him. I'm like dumbfounded at how this has to be a mastermind Lex Luthor level fucking troll job here. Let's continue.
I think the crowd's gonna like anything, and the moves were fantastic, but the crowd liked it. And I think the crowd's gonna like anything, and the moves.
I think the crowd's gonna like anything. Fuck you, Dave.
Were fantastic. I mean, absolutely fantastic. They're great athletes. When they both have more, if they were in with other people, I think that, like experienced people, I think that was maybe the issue, is you had two people with limited experience who are both great gymnasts, and this is what you came up with. If they were in with other people who were experienced at making a wrestling match, that the gymnastics ability of either of them, would really take them a long way.
Oh my good. So AEW neckbeards. Well, here, let's shout out Vic, who posted the clip at Vic8122. This was a very, very heavily choreographed, whatever. He quotes it, and then he says, so it's okay when this happens on AEW all the time, but when Sol Ruca and Kelani Jordan do it, it's not wrestling. The hypocrisy is next level. I cannot believe Smeltsy Weltsy right here. Dave Shearer comes in. And he has a comment, of course. And he says, so dipshit Dave and braindead Bryan rip two women for doing the exact thing that they routinely give 5 stars to when it happens in AEW. No wonder they have to keep raising prices to make up for lost subscribers. What a pair of shill sellouts, which is so true. And
what a great comment.
Dude, I love Shearer. I want him on the show so bad.
They have to keep raising prices.
Yeah, dude. It's true, man. Going out of sale business. That's how Evil Dose put it to me. I asked him, I'm like, why are they doing it? He's like, the same reason everyone does it. Going out of sale, stack up the price to your loyals. He's like, dude, rack up the price to your loyals and milk them for as long as you can while you trend downwards. Right. I'm like, dude, he's fucking right. But anyways, AEW Neckbeards put together a video here, I believe. Remember, folks, NXT women and JPW men, 5.75 stars. Okay. And folks, make sure you're subscribed to @ProWrestleTimes and @ProWrestleClips and watch videos as they premiere, because this section might get clipped out, but I'm going to play it anyways and risk my own shit just for the sake of research, bro. We have to do this, right? So here we go. This match here got almost 6 stars. Here's them doing the exact same shit side by side. Neckbeards put it together.
Number 1, and for good reason, after the opening matchup, carrying it to this matchup again.
Side by side, they're doing the same shit. Like, pretty much, right? Like, it's the same spots.
Essentially.
It is. They're right doing there. Like, they paid homage to. All right. They just didn't do like the crazy Jet
bullshit. Yeah. Bullshit hero landing.
Yeah, dude. So it's side by side. It's the same thing. Dave buries it because why? It's 2 women, because he's rage baiting, because he's a dumb fuck dipshit who is just Shillington. Like, awful. Give me some perspective on this if you can. Try and make sense of this. How does he get away with this? Why is he doing this? Just the rage bait.
Okay. I'm going to be real quick, and I mean real quick.
Yes.
It's as I've always said. Dave Meltzer feels like he helped inseminate AEW. When he made that tweet about, the 10,000 seat arena, he came in there and he was just like, not so fast. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. The Cody thing happens. They go into, tweeting back and forth. Before you know it, AEW is now a thing based on Dave Meltzer answering a tweet. So he feels like he is a part of this entire enterprise. And so he's going to protect it at all costs. He's going to make sure, because he knows by the end of this era of AEW, his name's going to be all over it. So he wants to keep that legacy going for as long as possible. And so you say things like this in order to rile up guys like you in order to keep their legacy going. It's a real wacky thing. It's what the mainstream media did a few years back, but it's backfired on them just like it's backfiring on Dave Meltzer. All it takes is an observant person like AEW Netbeards or Dave Shearer or Phil Marks or anybody else to see the hypocrisy that's going on. It's right there in 4K. Well, in this case, it's 480, but yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah. And yeah, man. So just a couple. He just gets washed a little bit. So no, you slurp Ospreay for doing the same shit. Everyone can see your hypocrisy.
No, he of course has to quote tweet it. He goes for that. He's always going for the one tweet where it's just like, oh, he'll ignore this one. He'll ignore you. You almost know which tweet he's going to quote tweet because it's one of the most mundane, maudlin fucking tweets that are on the entire comment section. But he chose that one because it's low hanging fruit.
Nah, Dave, you're just a hypocrite who has no idea what you're talking about. It's no wonder Seth Rollins and other WWE stars hate you. And then Dave, yeah, he tweets this guy and goes, funny, like I, actually, except I, I actually compared them to Ospreay and some, Tony Khan in some ways when he was starting out, but I guess you missed that part. Like he expects, I pointed this out like months and months and months ago. He'll say things like, yeah, I actually wrote 5,000 words on this before. And oh, you must not have read. And it's like, Dave, what are you, the Holy Bible? Like, yeah, motherfucker, people aren't studying your scripture. You're 5,000 words. Well, then don't tweet 180 characters. Say, read my 5,000 words if you want full context.
Or screenshot whatever you said, but you won't do that.
It's just fucking stupid, and it's just it's ridiculous. I have many bookmarks about it, but Dave Meltzer said what? The GOAT, the absolute GOAT. I have a direct line to him now, so he doesn't want to come on the show. He doesn't want to be the focus of attention, but he directly DMs me what he feels should be brought to the show. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, he quotes what was written on the site, and he has clips here, and I believe.
I think both of them. I think Kelani Jordan's got like a real baby face.
So this is just the continuation. This is the last thing we're covering here, and this is just the continuation of what they said before. Him to close out, him saying there's a lot more to wrestling than just moves, which you're going to hear.
Persona about her that I think can do pretty well to go along with a great athletic ability. And so Ruca has a lot going for her. It's just a question of, getting the ring time and getting the experience and everything like that. I think some people really loved this match.
Some people definitely did. Definitely did.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're...
Yeah, the sickos. Oh, yeah, the sickos loved it. It's really great. If this was on Rampage, it would be 7 stars.
If you're just into cool moves, this is like, watching a Will Ospreay match. As far as just cool moves. I mean, they were just nothing but cool moves. But
so this is like watching an Ospreay match. So he's going to give this 7 stars. Like, what is he talking about? I don't get it.
It wasn't even like average between the two moves, between the cool moves, and it was. If you're just into cool moves, this match was had him in spades, and they will. I think that they're both with experience. They're both going to be. They could both be superstars. Really.
Well, to your point,
forward.
I would say that I think that I've enjoyed every single solitary Kelani Jordan match she's ever had more than this one, because she's almost always in there with somebody that can carry her.
I would agree with you, but I would say that I enjoyed every Kelani Jordan match I've seen more than this one too. But when it comes to showing potential, and when it comes to just moves, this is her best match. When it just comes to moves.
What the fuck is he even? Oh my god, dude! What is he even saying? When it comes to just moves,
liar!
Oh God.
He tries to compartmentalize professional wrestling down to like so many categories where it's just like, okay, now there's work rate, there's move sets, there's like, no, bro. What is it in the whole grand scheme of a match? Because nobody, when they're rehearsing a match or going through a match, they're not compartmentalizing it down to in the way that you do. So your opinion is just so crazy. But
man.
yeah, I don't know what to say about Dave. I mean,
the hypocrisy, man.
Yeah.
Well, here we got 30 seconds left, and then here we'll end. We'll play the flute one more time.
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot more to wrestling than just moves.
Well, no
oh,
doubt.
stop it right there.
Oh my God, the fact they even are saying
we know
this.
that. That's what I'm saying. Like, we've all known that, but for years on Twitter, these guys have pretended that it's more than just moves than what we're seeing in certain companies. And it's just not the case. They pick and choose. They like to pick and choose when they're going to reveal their wrestling acumen. That's for damn sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, do you know Mrs. Cornette just DM'd me actually the Dave Meltzer segment that we're going over right now, and she's like, dude. And I'm gonna message her back. Don't worry, I'm cooking it with fucking awful now.
Some people, obviously, to this crowd, I think that they performed better for this crowd than a normal wrestling match because this crowd loved them. So, every crowd's different. And I mean, I think that there are a lot of crowds. I think that a lot of crowds this match would not have worked with. But for this crowd, they wanted, it was something different. It was different from the other matches. And it worked for the crowd.
This crowd compared to what?
What the fuck is he?
What does that even mean?
Oh,
compared to what? Compared to what other crowd? The Pontiac Silverdome crowd? The Madison Square Garden crowd?
Leon France? Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Who knows? Who cares? The fact is that that's the other thing that I even Jim Cornette said it. He said, you're not supposed to love the people in the match. You're supposed to, the wrestlers in the match are supposed to draw emotions out of you. You're supposed to feel love. You're supposed to feel hate. You're supposed to feel empathy. That's what a great professional wrestling does. It draws that shit out of you. To hear Dave Meltzer go, well, the people loved them. No. They made the people love them. Okay, give them that much credit. And secondly, you're not of that type to be judging these two ladies when Neckbeards himself has just shown you the proof that it's exactly like a Will Ospreay match, to the point where you even had to admit it.
Him saying like that crowd, those people, like who? the ones that aren't called fucking sickos, Dave, like the men, women, and children, and the families who spend their fucking hard-earned dollar. What Awful just said, they won the people over in the match. So Dave's sitting here going, "Oh, they're green and they need someone to carry her." And blah 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 blah. But
then why did they care? Why did they cheer? Why did they boo? Bro. Why did they get off of their feet and be like, "This is awesome"? Like, give me a break.
And why is everyone online going, this could be match of the year? Like I said it too. I don't agree with that, but it's the exact same sequence. Some of it even cleaner than Ospreay and Ricochet here, other than maybe the Dark Knight backflip, the fucking the Spider-Man flip at the end of the sequence or whatever you want to call it.
I think he's just more angry the fact that they got a bigger reaction than that library crowd in Japan with Will Ospreay and Ricochet.
And it wasn't the whole match. Like, it was like one spot of it, and the whole, they don't do it all the time. They don't do it all the time. So when they when they do this little thing, it fucking works because we don't see it all the time. So it was special because it happened in this moment. We won't see it again for a long time until maybe these two meet at a WrestleMania one day or something. So it's crazy. And let's just face it, Kelani and Sol Ruca are outdrawing Ospreay and whoever he's flipping against in AEW at the end of the day, period. 10,000 people in this building, and the TV ratings don't lie. The numbers don't lie, B.
Great pro wrestling match or anything like that, but I do think they're both going to be stars.
Ooh, wow.
It wasn't a great pro wrestling match or anything like that. But I think they're both going to be stars. Meanwhile, Dave gives this over here 5. He gives this one 6 stars on the side here. But it's not a real wrestling match.
You know why? Because they didn't do the superhero landing, and so that took a star away from Kelani Jordan and Sol Ruca. And by the way, if you've ever wanted to know why WWE did not sign Mercedes Moné, that's why. Because of two women wrestlers like these two.
They don't.
Why
yeah,
do you
why
don't
would
need a
they?
Monet when you got those two, or any other ones? I mean,
So then
she's
we had the Axiom and
Oh, shut up,
Inspiration
Alvarez.
versus Chase U match.
Oh Jesus, I gotta unbookmark that, dude. That segment this week took possibly a whole year off of my life, and for real, that was Dave Meltzer's most epic dumb moment of the week. Okay, awful. We went really longer than I thought, but I'm just having so much fun chatting you up, dog. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Myron Reed, for being here. Make sure everybody goes and checks out Myron Reed on Twitter, please and thank you. At the Bad Reed, and check out the song he just dropped with Leo Rush. Awful. I want to thank you for being here. Round of applause for our guests. And yeah, man, let the good folks know where they can find you, what you got going on.
We're on our way to 10,000 people.
Let's go.
We're on our way on Twitter, AEW FUL Wrestling. You can catch me there. And on Toonie Talk Wrestling every Tuesday at 8. And on Pro Wrestle Times. Anytime when this man feels like firing up a goddamn mic, that's when you'll be able to find me.
I love it. I love it, man. And so for me over here, guys, at Pro Wrestle Times, at Pro Wrestle Clips, thank you for 1,000. Thank you for 3.7,000. And hopefully we can get that up to 4K as quick as we can. I appreciate you all so much. Let me shout out the Tribal Chiefs really quick. Scully Vibes, George Captor, Bocce Ball Pro, Savage Wrestling Podcast, LK Sass Prophet, Gilgamesh, El Huapo Diablo, Jamie Earhart, Cruz Madrid, Derek Hans. I acknowledge you as Tribal Chiefs. If I missed anybody, you'll be on the next one. I just I've been came back from vacation. I have a very special former WWE and TNA superstar joining myself and hopefully Awful on this Wednesday's live Dynamite watch along. Again, thank you, Myron Reed. And next week I have a TNA knockout. Is she a current TNA knockout? Is she a former TNA knockout? We're going to find out together next week on Pro Wrestle Times podcast. And I have Ant Evans coming on this Wednesday. Finally, we're able to link up. We both had vacation overlap, weird family kind of stuff go on. So we're finally linking up and we're going to talk as well. So that should be this week. And yeah, just thank you all for tuning in.
So why did you ask me for bail money?
Yeah. Well, you'll find out. And we'll find out down the line, dude. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you in the Upside Down. Peace.